Warning: this video contains an excessive amount of yapping. There will be quite a large amount of pausing, conversational topics, and worst of all, tangentially related conversational matters. If you are not a fan of yapping, you've come to the wrong place. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour mes amis. Bienvenue dans cette nouvelle La Vampire Lestat de l'Anchor. Merci, merci, merci d'avoir regardé. Welcome back, hello travelers, and welcome back. This is your bright young reactor with a point of view. We are back here with more Vampire Lestat, the show previously known as Interview avec le Vampire. And we're cruising along here, about to hop into episode 3. I'll try to make this brief. Also, I'm going to be a little bit out of sorts today, I'm not going to lie. Circumstances leading up to me recording this include our AC is currently not working properly, so I'm a little... I got a fan directly on me, but I'm a little schwitzy. Thank God I'm recording this at night and the sun's gone down. Is it still 80 degrees outside? Yes. Is it showing it is 83 inside currently, our humble abode? Perhaps, but we're going to get through this. I got a chili beverage, a couple of chili beverages. I've got my Lestat gear. Might even go one more button if it gets too sweaty in here, but if I'm heavy breathing or if I'm kind of going gremlin mode right now or not quite myself, that would be why. And hopefully this drink will make me feel less and less as we go on. But yeah, we're gonna hop on into it. Plus, I would have recorded this earlier in the day, but right after work there were some Father's Day festivities with my partner and her family, who actually lives close in town. So loaded up on some barbecues. So I got the meat sweats, I got the normal sweats. We're struggling right now. I am over here like Gabriella is the patron saint of television, comes to help me. I don't even know what I'm saying. Before we get too into the episode, though, we do have some comments as always. Always love the engagement. Patreon taking priority first regarding Holy Toledo, Nita Mosquito. People were very happy. So admittedly, and I'll address this in a moment, but perhaps I really was feeling myself a bit too hard last episode, and perhaps I got carried away, one might say, though it seems like the response to it the reception has been positive regardless. A says 2.5 hours rubbing my hands together like a greedy little fly, so people were very happy to see that. Jessica says, I'd like to thank the Vampire Lestat for coining the term Ed Epiphany. Great. Randomly saying it all day, as you should be. Tony says, 2.5 hours. I've genuinely dreamed of times like these. Never stop yapping. I appreciate it. Especially with your astute observations, boy. I know I'm always going to enjoy some intellectual thoughts and analysis when I hit play on your videos. I appreciate that. I do want to mention, though, about the relationship between Lestat and his madre. It is so deeply heartbreaking. I get so sad for Lestat. He said that Lestat's justifications were most likely the writers trying to justify it, but I think it's more like Lestat trying to justify it to himself and ultimately failing to do so. It is an abusive relationship. Gabriella is taking advantage of him, sexually and emotionally, but he is too close and too vulnerable to truly see himself as the victim that he is. You said it yourself. He tried to express his boundaries, and yet she crossed them that same night by drinking his blood. He thinks the sexual intimacy is the only thing keeping Gabriella close to him, which it kinda is, so he'll give it to her. This episode's also a great exploration of Lestat's relationship with sex in general, in my opinion, and that as a whole is heartbreaking. Him having to clarify that he doesn't sleep with his band members, him automatically asking if he should have sex with the hotel owner to appease him, him having to make a pact with his mother so that she doesn't have sex with him. People have always taken advantage of him in that way, and he is so desperate for love and affection that he lets it happen, even if it's obvious he doesn't want to. Sorry for the whole rant. Love the video as usual. I appreciate that. And yeah, it does definitely, the more that this season is kind of having the intended effect that I was hoping it would have, which is to soften my overall view of the Vampire Lestat, and kind of, I want to like him more than I do. I understood how he was the way that he was at first, and then I kind of have been gradually warming up to the idea of sympathizing with his actions, but to get more of his backstory and figure out kind of, the psychology behind the man, the myth, the legend, the creature, the Brat Prince himself, it's been a journey so far. Melissa says, watch this several times, and this time when Gabriella is sharing her totally reasonable fantasy based on the vice that is in her life. But to be clear, it's totally inappropriate to share with her son. She is literally tending to his open wounds. The blend here of pleasure and pain feels intentional as well. Yappers unite. Kirara says, I think it's important to recall that the writers are very aware of the fact that we are trapped in Lestat's head. Not to defrost your unreliable narrator trauma. Please, please, bro, don't. But what we're hearing are Lestat's constant justifications for his own choices and behavior. There's no one to check him by the time he's recording the failures. We're all his friends to whom he sent like 50 very long voice notes overnight with no explanation. Despite what Lestat is saying here about the incest being different for vampires, it pretty obviously isn't in any way that matters. Their dynamic never changed from what we saw when they were humans. Lestat is so starved for parental love, he'll do whatever he can to gain his mother's attention, and Gabriella gives her son a love that is invasive, selfish, and profoundly warped by her fundamental dislike of motherhood. Yeah, 100%. And I think that's been my mistake going into this season. People are saying, like, I'm taking Lestat's version of events and I'm taking Lestat's testimonial as gospel, right? As very, because he presents himself as a very forward, psychologically so, emotionally so. He presents as very forward and blunt and like, oh, this, I tell it like it is, and this is my truth and all this. But what we must remember, and again, defrosting the unreliable narrator charm, is that, as already comments have been kind of coming in and saying, sure, it's how he's presenting it all, and yet, even just because he's saying it, and just because he might even believe it to an extent, doesn't mean that just because he's stating this is this and that is this, and it's also matter of fact, and it's just complicated. But it's actually so much deeper than that. It's perhaps he's not right. Perhaps he is, like we're saying, like he's whether it's like masking, whether it's hiding the true trauma or explaining it away, sure seems to be the case in a lot of circumstances. Ray Duarte says the song he's playing on the piano in the final scene is the finished song that he was playing for Louis during the FaceTime call in episode 1. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, I don't see Beyonce covering it. And now he's playing it for Gabriella. This show continuously stabs me in the heart. Cleaver fan comes in and says, would definitely recommend that he takes a look at the French poem Baudelaire, The Fountain of Blood, Lestat scenes at the end, because it aligns very well with what he feels for Gabriella and the nature of their relationship. Him playing that same melody originally meant for Louis, but now is played for Gabriella, is very neat and almost like a bridge between the two characters. In a way, Gabriella and Louis are very similar when it comes to withholding their affection for Lestat, but the said nature of their affection is so different, which I believe the show is going to make very apparent as the season progresses. For anybody curious, tonight's drink is known as a Corpse Reviver with double proportions all around. That has a lovely aromatic of absinthe around the inside of the glass, and yeah, lovely. It's small but punchy. And also, you said Baudelaire, The Fountain of Blood. So this is the song he's playing, but translated to English. 1821, 1867. Wait, 60, 50, 40? Damn, only the 40s, huh? A fountain's pulsing sobs, like this my blood, measures its flowing, so it sometimes seems. I hear a gentle murmur as it streams. Where the wound lies, I've never understood. Like water meadows, boulevards are flooded. Cobblestones, crisscrossed by scarlet rills. Our islands, creatures come and drink their fill. Nothing in nature now remains unblooded. I used to hope that wine could bring me ease, could lull asleep my deeply gnawing mind. I was a fool, the senses clear with wine. I looked to love to cure my old disease. Love led me to a thicket of ivies, where bristling needles thirsted for each vein. I can see what you're talking about then. I see. Well, take that for what you will. Nina Potato says, no, please, I think I speak for the majority of your viewers that we love the multiple hour yap sessions. Just want to say, as a victim of abuse similar to what Lestat goes through in this episode, it's a huge breath of fresh air to hear you speak about it in depth in a way that isn't mocking or trivializing, sorry. As I've had to listen to some very offensive and upsetting things about it out of the mouths of several of my other favorite reactors. Oh, that's unfortunate. The whole incest plotline is upsetting for many, I'm sure, but I appreciate the fact that the writers weren't afraid to go there and maybe shed some light on a form of abuse that is rampantly misunderstood by the general populace, which feels almost silly to say about a vampire show. Well, that's what it is, right? Whether we take it, vampire show or not, this show has approached many, and as Anne Rice's writings inherently have, but this show has tackled many like difficult, rough themes, such as abuse, such as sexual assault, such as incestuous relationships, as of generational abuse, or through like parental abuse, or depressing thoughts, or even perhaps suicidal ideation. So yeah, and no, I mean, that's what I just try to take everything seriously. If I ever do laugh in inappropriate or very rough situations or scenes, it's just a response from me, almost a trauma response, where it's like all I can do is laugh in a given dark situation, right? Just my own incredulity over the darkness that I'm perceiving. But no, in case like this, I mean, yeah, it's what we're here to talk about. Like it could be so easy to be like, ew, gross. But I mean, look, human beings are innately flawed creatures, and not saying that we all like, there's good, there's bad, there's the weird, most things have reasoning, and it always is more, it's more interesting to me rather than to write somebody or something off immediately. Like, it's more, there's reasoning behind everything. And so like having this relationship develop, it's easy to say, oh, they're doing this gross thing, ew, weird. And I'm just like, there's something so much deeper here, clearly, that's like, it's like so emotionally and psychologically embedded, and you're laughing. Like, I mean, I've laughed when I first saw it. I was just like, oh, like I was very much like, okay, wow, this is a lot. But I was never trying to just make fun of the situation, for sure. So I'm glad that we're kind of, I'm happy to talk about it. Yella says, when the monk arrives to advocate for Lestat's admission to the monastery school, it serves as a really important callback to Season 1, Episode 1. It recalls that epic scene where Paul asked Lestat, "Are you with Christ, Monsieur Liancourt?" And Lestat bristled. It's worth taking another look at that clip. Right. I know somebody else referenced that as well, where like Lestat has that religious trauma. I mean, he gives he tried a little bit of religion, tried a little bit of the arts and the theater. Those were some bits in the episode that some book readers were complaining about, because they seemed like throwaway lines, and apparently I didn't pick up on them so easily myself. But how with each flash forward, there's also the implication that Lestat like went off and tried a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and couldn't really quite find any other kinship. Cleaver fan says, clarification with regards to Gabriella's comments when they were in the restaurant. Lestat earlier in the episode asks her how long she's going to stay this time, and here we learn that she only visited him twice in the last 200 years. In the restaurant scene, it's made clear that she visited him once after Claudia and Louis tried to kill him, and then because she talks about how she found him with his throat the way that it was and such. And then the second time was after Claudia died. She mentions the same outfit we see him in at the end of the Season 2 finale. So it seems as though Gabriella only seems to come back when she knows Lestat is at his most vulnerable. I was just thinking, like, very emotionally vulnerable. When he's willingly going to participate in the incestuous nature of the relationship so that she stays around him. Otherwise, his constant narration about trying to persuade the audience that the incest itself is okay, contrasting with how he tries to set boundaries, goes to show that he does know that this relationship isn't okay and wants out. Right, because he's competing with what he wants versus what he has to do in order to get it, right? Lorena says, dude, the fact that you caught that he might have been molested in the monastery from that throwaway line is crazy. Speaks to the levels to your incredible attention to detail. I appreciate that. I just figured, Lestat has... It's mainly because I was able to extrapolate from the way Lestat speaks, right? Lestat never, like, say what you want about Lestat. He is an incredibly... He's a goddamn poet. He's incredibly verbose, and almost every sentence that he utters in this show, whether to himself or to someone else or even in jest, or seemingly in jest, it's almost always layered. There's almost always a double, a triple, quadruple meaning behind everything. So especially when Lestat is speaking, I'm kind of like trying to pay even more attention, because I figure when he says something, when he's like, oh, when I was I'm paraphrasing now, but when he said I like lost my wonder, or I was disillusioned in the monastery, or just the way that he said it, like so morosely, not outright stating the fact of what happened, but saying like almost like saying I lost my innocence, but he's saying when I lost my my sense of like wonder, like childhood. Like, I'm like, that sounds like somebody who, like, how else would a kid lose their sense of self in that sense, unless they were also like, perhaps touched in a way. Melissa says, and in regard to MovieMan asking about Lestat saying he has lost his wonder, that's the word, with the actors, I think he's basically saying he lost his innocence, his wonder, his hope, by finding these things he deeply loved and felt he was good at, only to be pulled back home by his brutish father and brothers to be abused and disrespected. Yeah, no, it definitely makes me feel for him, for sure. This was a hard watch. Don't misunderstand me. This is a beautiful piece of work, but just overall heartbreaking. And then there's kind of some spoilers I'm going to skip there, looks like. So luckily they've been kind of trying to hide them. I know you do right by us with this. Yeah, happy to do it. Oh yeah, Melissa, if you want to be a mod, I think Hypocritics think so. Being retired gives me a lot of free time. It's definitely a role befitting my personality. However, I feel like people hate that kind of thing, like a hall monitor at school. I mean, I guess it just depends to what extent the moderator would do, right? Like what would, I guess I've never had a moderator, so do they go through and like mark certain comments, or do they like curate, or I'd be curious to kind of how that all operates. Jessica says you should be proud. The season has been non-stop flashbang grenades of information. I've been really deeply impressed with how much non-book viewers are keeping up, because I've read the book several times and I'm holding on for dear life over here. Maybe it is undiagnosed ADHD, who's to say? Sam says, Gabriella instigating the blowout at the dinner table and then just picking up her book and ignoring the fallout when Lestat gets attacked is so crazy to me. Girl, do you even care? Edit. Just noticed on this rewatch that Daniel still has yeah. So I don't want to claim like, oh, I noticed and just didn't say anything, but I did notice, and at one point I saw his hand kind of tremor a little bit, but I thought he was just kind of like, I don't know. I wondered for a moment if it was the Parkinson's, and then I thought maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Were those just shakes because Eric is an old man, or Daniel's Parkinson's tremors when he was directing cameraman to get shot at Gabriella? Edit 2, Daniel is all of 2 years old as a vampire in this season, and he thinks he should have all the gifts. LOL, okay bro. Louis had been a vampire for 30 years before learning the fire gift from Armand. Melissa says, I would think, however, that because Armand is so old and powerful that his first and only progeny could be stronger, no? I thought about the tremors too, but it may just be Eric's age. I felt so sad for Daniel in his conversation with Louis. He's so lonely and kind of lost. Yeah, very Bourdain coded as always. He and Louis had built a bond, but now Louis is so pissed at him, unfairly so, he can't even offer him some comfort. I don't know if I would say unfairly though. I think that like Louis being pissed, I mean, he is the one that kind of wanted the book to be written, but by the end of it, I mean, he kind of was like, okay, well, you helped me, I'll help you, and now let's just call it quits and all that. And then to Louis' credit, Daniel did publish the book against his will, so that's to Louis' credit. To Daniel's credit, Louis, I think at that point realized that, you know, the error of his ways and that he'd been like regurgitating a rehearsed version of events. Melissa says, I love Louis, but man, he can lie, especially when he wants to be petty or to be hurt or to hurt someone. Daniel asks if he ever feels Lestat around him. Louis says, no, that's weird. Cut to Louis talking about Lestat season 2. I could feel the movement of air with his movements, his breath in the back of my neck. If I were to reach out and touch his hand, I wouldn't say it was his hand, but it was not his hand. Yeah, exactly. Louis, when he wants to, he can, yeah, when he's salty. 45? Oh, my bad. Like, yeah, for sure. Layla says, just want to say, if ever in doubt, I appreciate all your yapping. I'm not sure I'm the only one. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, shout out to a fellow Nashvilleian. Yeah, word up. Kids say that, right? Word up, yeah. I wish we could all link up and watch one of these episodes after the season concludes. Would be fun. Also, patiently waiting for the next Terror episode. Hey, you're in for a surprise, I tell you what. I know you have a lot of content to watch with us. Yeah, we'll get there eventually, though. Lady Greensleeves, in context to that unbaptized question I was asking. Unbaptized usually means they were stillborn or died shortly after birth, and therefore were never officially baptized as any name you would have been given. And Lestat's narration is a separate thing from Malloy's documentary. It's from the self-recorded vinyls in the auction, The Failures. And his mother threw the brooch as payment. So this I didn't compute when it happened in the moment. But again, I also love low-key how it's not spelled out for the audience. Mother threw the brooch as payment to take Lestat to the monastery and teach him, since it seemed his father had no desire to see him educated. And, well, we heard how that ended in season 1. His brothers dragged him out and beat and starved him, and as he said at the dinner table, Christ failed to intercede. Also, the guy, Randy Loving Glass, was because the business deal was about, glass manufacturing, but it was also a sly indication of his infidelity. Also, it's highly indicative of how manipulative that she is when she asks him essentially if he prefers sex over blood. He indicates that the blood is better, then proceeded to drink from him. Just another layer of boundary that she's skirting around. And yeah, it's insinuating that she saw him sometime after he dug himself out of the dump when he was left in 1940, and that he was called to Paris for the trial. If he called for his mother after being drugged and beat up in 2025, I can only imagine he did the same back then after being poisoned and almost murdered in whatever way he could. Right there, the French he sings is the Fountain of Blood by Baudelaire. Here's a few different translations. So yeah, unbaptized. So he only referred to them as unbaptized because they never officially got a name. Didn't live long enough to do so. Regarding the couple lines about the good in him being lost to the monastery and his wonder being lost with the theater troupe, I think the connection between these two specific events is that his father ordered his brothers to drag him back home from both of those things, as referenced in the pilot at the Dulac dinner table. Whether or not that loss of goodness was molestation while there, I don't know, but Lestat has another noteworthy line back in 1-2 where he says a couple of parish priests, most likely kid fiddlers. Yeah. He's also way more aggressive with the priests from the pilot than he is with literally any of his other victims. Yeah, the fist through the head. Yeah, for sure. Edit. Adding that his dynamic with his mom seems to shed some light on his behavior in season 1 when Louis was turning down sex and Lestat seemed especially hurt by it. He conflates it with love / sees it as his own value, so he felt like Louis didn't want him around at all. During that time, Louis was also ignoring Lestat in favor of books, just like Gabriella. Especially makes me think of the scene where Claudia has left home and he's got tears in his eyes. I am the one presently standing in front of you, and unlike Claudia, I am a full-blooded adult with all the right appendages. Like, considering all this new information, of course he'd feel like he was in competition with their daughter for Louis' attention and affection. Also, have some thoughts about Lestat attempting to rationalize his mom's treatment of him in the narration, but I think some other people said some stuff anyway, and I don't want to do it too much. No, I appreciate all the added context from everybody, for sure. Jessica says, I think Louis lied to Daniel about feeling Lestat's... Oh yeah, for sure, because he's bitter. I wonder if Lestat talked Gabriella out of killing that glass salesman. He seemed conflicted about it, and the next thing we know, they're at the Italian restaurant. Maybe he convinced her they were committing crimes against spaghetti there and deserved to die more. Or maybe they were just dessert. Melissa says, I feel like they were two different nights. First night at strip bar, he has on the very wolf-like coat, no accident I'm sure, with a tank top underneath. At the restaurant, he has on that gorgeous shirt. Also a cut to another scene in between. I could totally be wrong, but I thought there were two different nights. But now I'm realizing she was dressed the same, wasn't she? Revision, I don't know which it was, but I sure hope it was the first thing you wrote. You can tell he felt pain for his nieces and nephews in the crypt, and you see the same pain and judgment in his eyes when she could care less that the man is talking to his child on the phone. It all tracks, though. Oh, a fun fact, the redhead in the strip club does or did reactions to all 3 seasons of the show on YouTube with her husband. And Louis' alias Thomas Pitt is a reference to the original movie adaptation. Yeah, I found out about that later in the After Dark. Hypocritic says, you asked how Rumspringa Malloy found out about this. The narration we are hearing is from the music box that was purchased by... Oh, right, the wealthy benefactor. Yeah, so there's a difference between the documentary and then the recordings afterward, the recordings in the music box and the vinyl afterwards. We are getting the story from the music box records, the failures, unless you were simply referring to how Malloy found out about the stutters, in which case I misinterpreted. Oh no, I think that's what I was referring to, is that, like, where would he have heard that from? That Louis is a stutterer. And someone below comments that Louis told him in the last episode. Okay, there we go. Well, that makes sense then. Yella says, I've always spoken about this series in terms of structuralism, and even though Interview with the Vampire is a self-contained book, the new season makes it inevitable that we pick everything apart and re-examine it all over again. It once again demonstrates the brilliance of the writer's room in Roland's mind. Roland? He is playing a long game. So much from the first 2 seasons resurfaces regarding Lestat. When I look at Lestat's relationship with his mother and then think back to season 1, episode 1, where Lestat says in the church, nothing scares me more, this home we caught a glimpse of, or consider Louis' breakdown in season 2, when Dreamstott says, show me the only way you know how to love. It highlights things Louis was fully aware of, as well as what Lestat endured just to receive love. I know exactly who Lestat is, flaws and all, but seeing and hearing it all play out again is an experience in itself, and we're only on episode 2. Please read this and try not to misinterpret my feelings on this. Want to point out that says Hypocritics. Want to point out one more thing about Lestat and Gabriella. Lestat has gone through life in the show telling people his mother died of consumption. He isn't ready to reveal the truth yet, and who could blame him? A woman he truly loves with his whole heart and he is afraid to disappoint, who sexually groomed then abused him, and she repeatedly abandons him, likely a reason why he fears abandonment and loneliness so much. He feels unlovable. He is deeply hurt and traumatized. Our poor Pookie Bear. Just want to give him a hug. It makes me that much more angry now thinking about Louis using this loneliness and abandonment as a weapon against Lestat. Screw it, I'll say it, and this is from the vampire perspective, but Louis deserved his ass beat for that. I don't know if I would say, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but domestic squabbles, I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying. I'm not misconstruing what you're saying. I just don't know if I I get the sentiment, but I don't know if I agree with the Old Testament look. Granted, in his defense, Lestat didn't reveal Gabriella to Louis. He only knows of him losing Nicholas. But still, that's a lot of heartache for any one person or a vampire to go through. And man, I can relate to this story so much. What's a bite between two vampires? Hell, even Daniel and Louis were ready to scrap it out in the alley. And who knows, maybe that did happen. Since Lestat told us about their meeting in an elegant room with a nice view, admitted it was framed as such as much ahead of time too. Well, I think we're just about, well, I thought we were caught up, Jesus. I feel compelled to warn you on episode 3. It's going to get super dicey and triggery. I see. I've been warned episode 3 is pretty rough stuff, so I'm bracing myself. Great reaction, says Moira. A few things. One, the Leoncos have a little but are money. Oh, they have a title but are money poor. They have also squandered the money Gabriella brought into the marriage. 2, Lestat hunted, and that is how they got food since his siblings were useless. And they still had the nerve to fucking shit on him. 3, Gabriella threw her jewelry on the table, right, to pay for the education, I see. 4, he ran away and joined an Italian acting troupe and performed with them until his brothers found him. 5, when he fought the wolves, he lost his horse and his dogs, which were his companions. Right, well, he mentioned that in the, when he's talking to his mother when she comes to, like, tend to his wounds. And this needed to end now, our feature presentation. Yeah, exactly. Salamander fun info. You'll enjoy the background on the actor playing Salamander, who's also a music supervisor, composer, writer, etc. Love it already. This park ranger ass get up. Ryan Katner, Texas born, known for. So is he mostly? So he is an actor, but he's mostly known for music and a composer. Would I know any of his? Oh, music supervisor on the Exorcist TV series from 10 years back. He was in Destroy All Neighbors, Jesus 2, Tig and Seek, Whoa, Dames. This filmography, though. I really do love how you do see some big names showing up in the show, of course. There's some moderately well-known names, but I like how many people are cast that a lot of people don't, like, immediately know or might not be immediately familiar with. Do you guys play baseball like in Twilight? No, but we sparkle. At least one of us does. Oh, yikes. See right here. Miss Maya tapping out from Patreon and the show reactions. Just wanted to say it has nothing to do with you. Your commentary is incredible. Too much of a disappointment for the book fans and an insult to me. That's a lot. This is just personal. It's nothing to do with you. Yeah, I know some book fans have been fairly upset, which is crazy how it's like 2 seasons everybody's been so happy, but the 3rd season in, book fans are pretty upset. And I'm not going to ask why, only because I feel like that might be spoilers for what is to come. But I guess maybe there's some changes that are being made that are probably not going over well in the case. The ad isn't skippable for you? I guess so, yeah. Anyway, so YouTube, I'll only go over a few of the comments because there's over 100 of them. And we don't have the time for that. But the more popular ones at the top of the list, of course. Betaclip says, I'm just going to say, thank God there are reactors like you who actually pay attention and stop to analyze. I appreciate the kind words. Oh yeah, the meme going around right now, I'll put one in if I can find it on my phone. I love that Lestat uses I have the blood of Akasha when he's trying to get out of a situation and whoever's hearing doesn't have a clue what he means. And he's just like, it's okay, I have the blood of Akasha. It's so refreshing watching your show. I appreciate that, Abby May. Further clarification on if a baby dies before they're baptized. Appreciate that. Oh, and it was illegal at the time to baptize stillborn children in France. Interesting. Lady of Hearts noticed that I caught the boundary setting in an hour 24 in. Clarification on her throwing her brooch to pay for Lestat to go to the monastery. Being with Gabriella is like predatory spirit. Crazy choice of line scene cut. That one was on my editor. Hang on a second. So what was the scene cut?
Gabriella is like
that old familiar feeling coming back.
Predatory spirit.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's actually a very well done cut, then I suppose. Crazy choice of line scene cut. Hey, yeah, I thank my editor for that one. I'm glad you're understanding the deeper meanings and interpretations of Lestat speaking on his relationship with his mother. I've seen some people are accusing the fandom of thinking that incest is sexy and just there for the sake of being, and it's interfering with the show. No, I think it has some, like, it's got that. I mean, there's like major relevance, right? I don't think Lestat is threatening Alex directly, says Drag Smash. It's that Lestat, Daniel, etc. have been protecting the band from other vampires, and if Alex goes and gives away, he doesn't have their protection anymore, he would be killed. I see what you're saying as well. Lestat said the vampires out there are vicious. Claudia. I take it as a general warning too. Yeah, very true. Yeah, again, we don't have time to get into over 100 comments, unfortunately, and I'm already getting a little bit lightheaded because it's so, like, it is literally, I think it's still like literally over 80 degrees in here. But as always, thank you guys again so much for watching. If you are watching these on Patreon, thank you so much for the additional level of support. It means the absolute world to me. If you have thought about joining but have not yet done so already, now's always a good time. You will get early access to these episodes weeks in, well, I shouldn't say weeks, in this case, just days in advance. We're prioritizing this one. Full, uncut, uncensored reactions with HD video accompaniment, plus access, of course, to my entire content backlog and library, which does include the first 2 seasons of the Interview with the Vampire, as well as all other shows I've done reactions for, Patreon exclusive shows, couples commentary on the higher tier, couples commentary, and then on the higher tier, access to my live movie watch parties, which become movie commentary VODs afterwards. But of course, if you're watching these on YouTube, still more than enough. I appreciate it. All I ask is you like the video, comment down below for the almighty algorithm and engagement gods, and subscribe for more. Again, thank you very much. Not only did we just hit 10K very recently, but within the span of merely days, we're already almost up to 10,300. So the numbers are just like going up and up and up. We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. Thanks. Appreciate it as always. And we're going to hop into Season 3, Episode 3. The longest one yet by a few minutes, or Toronto. Yeah, this was the warning. So major trigger warning to anybody watching. Depictions of sexual assault and lighting and strobe effects. But yeah, a little bit of essay warning. So I've been told it's a bit of a rough watch. So I'm guessing we're going to hop between 2 main plot lines, which is Lestat sitting down with Daniel and going over his trauma regarding Nikki and maybe even Magnus and being turned. And then we're going to cut to Louis on the hunt for the Fang Gang, more specifically kill a Bruce over in Detroit.
Side A.
22
The
albums.
vainglorious
Jesus.
homogeny of the Toronto skyline is something to behold. An onslaught of impractical condominium. Its banality is lost on the polite citizenry of Canada. To them,
Oh, Lord.
and Natalie Bokel-Hyde confirmed as a must-see when the two planned their honeymoon and waited for Avery's divorce to finalize.
Oh, my God.
Stayed within the realities of their budget and consummated their union in their
Don't fall over now.
marriage might have lasted longer.
Oh, but you're going to hunt them?
Merited an unhurried commemoration. Can I
Oh,
offer my
my.
assistance?
Those broad shoulders.
You the angel.
Kind of you, sir.
Oh, no.
These moments last a lifetime.
Also, just like low-key digging at the Toronto skyline, which can be said of a lot of major metropolitan cities, I think. Or some of them anyway, but...
Exchanged as they were for a vampiric appointment in Samara.
Oh, no.
Gabriella's divine
Damn.
intervention had
Nice cut.
And I channeled our kills in licking the underside of Lake Erie in Cleveland and Buffalo before rounding the shaft.
So literally, even just the fact that his mother is here, like, it's brought his, like, predatorial instincts. Or, I mean, he calls them more raptorial, or what was the choice of word? Likening to that of a raptor. Clever girl. And now we're, like, hunting even more so than he might normally be. Oh, restraint. Lover. Oh, no.
Where are any of us?
Oh, my God.
Hey, Justin Bieber. Their hands up their asses.
Oh, no.
I'm done.
Yarda.
You bust a coffin.
Bust a coffin. Also, I like the way Sam plays Yarda, where just even the way that he kind of more pronounces his mouth in a certain way to make himself seem more, like, simple. Like, just the way that he carries himself in that simple sense. Like, you see it, right?
Justin Bieber. I got 45
Lord.
asses.
Did you misplace some?
like scratching the wig, but just the way he's just like, oh, there's one of mine. Just kind of fucking master of the universe over here.
I saved your life. You owe me.
Perhaps.
I do.
Perhaps.
Mounted above a covered toilet.
I'm not
or work
here.
For me.
Transformational trauma down.
Oh no. As he's shaking it back in his face. You're like, you're upset right now. Transformational trauma, Daniel. I swear.
I do.
So blasé.
Toilet if it weren't for me.
Transformational trauma down.
With Sophia, mystery vagina passed its sell-by date.
And, what do you mean, perhaps?
Damn. Mystery vagina past the sell-by date, says the jilted lover.
Vampire of Lestat's breeding could last 4 to 5 times.
Checkstat has the herb.
Interesting. According to like Dr. I'm Not Here for Reed, in his studies, vampires that are powerful or older, you could take off their head and they could still survive for up to 2 hours before having to be reattached. That's interesting little bit of lore.
A vampire of Lestat's breeding could last 4 to 5 times.
Lestat has the
Check stat.
Daniel Malloy. Delivered unto the world April 16th. Something vampires ask one another the details of their mortal existence. It's considered rude.
Oh, he said, I assume? What, delivered into his mother's arms, you mean? Oh, I assume. I see.
Assume is not something vampires ask one another the details of their mortal existence. It's considered rude.
Oh, like he would know, though.
Nudged in San Francisco towards a career of distinction and moderate fame.
So that for the sake of the failures, now Lestat is even going to tell us his perspective of Daniel, which he's delved a little bit into Daniel in episode 1, talking about him even admitting where it's like, oh, perhaps I would be dead if it weren't for him.
Incidental. Is that the right word?
Is Daniel going to die? Is he going to die in this season? He led a brief incidental life, a brief life. Oh, and he dies bad. Don't you dare do anything to my boy.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I'm
he's
worried.
here.
Oh, Lord. Oh. Oh, no, the walk up. The Negan lean back.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
Is that on your lip, Yada?
Oh, no. Oh, Lord.
And we are shooting this in color, and
Oh.
we're going to anchor it to all the black and white tour footage.
I
okay?
see. A little pop effect. I see what you're going for.
Evening, Dan. Happy to be here.
Could you state your name for the camera, please?
Maybe a little bit.
I'm the front man. Lestat.
The vampire Lestat.
This also part of the teaser trailer we first saw was a little bit of the interview footage.
Mortal? More or less.
Oh, not to actually, no, this particular bit was from the most recent trailer.
Then again,
Maybe not.
they might not.
We get along just fine, you and I. So cheery. Look at him. He's like licking his lips over here. Thirsty, hungry for more.
A couple of times on the bus, backstage. The songs are your.
Oh, Lord, the cleanup crew.
It's a doorstop because
I'm also curious if for all these cleanups, these various cleanups, right? Is this like a John Wick situation where you pay enough money to the right people, they'll take care of it for you? Or are they all like part of the vampire community and they just they're like, I'm sure they're still hired, right? But it's a service of sorts to help shield from the modern world, right?
I'll kick that door down, Dan. I bunk it down with my cookies and trauma long enough.
exactly my thinking. So let's
Here we go. I love the Daniel versus Lestat interviews here.
long face. The lyrics are ooh 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 wah
No. It's ooh 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 ooh. The lyrics are ooh 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 wah wah. So it's like the Chris Hansen asked question. What do you mean by that? Oh,
Permission disguised as anthem.
Oh yeah, we're coming. Yeah, we're coming. Oh yeah, I'm coming.
not great. She's there. Well, for one, not great. She's there, which you think would be for emotional support. But the fact that like literally now, whether she's laughing at Daniel in his attempt at an interview, or more likely laughing at her son's attempt at a musical career, either way, it is immediately like this is bad for Lestat in the moment because it's going to kind of destabilize him and throw him off his guard here, and he's not going to want to be as vulnerable because he's feeling vulnerable because it's literally this. And we already know the history they have and that he wants the approval and closeness and all that. But he got that person like literally laughing at him, like putting his heart and soul in the pen of paper over here, making these songs. So not great. But this could be good for Daniel for the interview.
Performative vampire, and at the end they get the real thing.
Black licorice.
Structure and ritual. Culture has misshapen the mortal mind, and how easy and unsatisfying the bringing of death has become. You must endless cachet of influencer videos, Russian dash cams, and shame-ridden pornography.
Very true.
Or are we still pretending that you're human?
I love that, again, we always have these moments of like borderline deflection where he starts like waxing philosophical about the state of humanity, which funny enough, Lestat does this because that's something Armand loves to do. Louis does it to a lesser extent. I mean, Louis still clings to that human side of him and tries to liken and ingratiate himself to humanity and still be part of all of that. But something that we've always seen Armand do, especially in the in Dubai and in San Francisco, but in Dubai especially, is when Daniel would try to interview him, Armand would start immediately throwing out there, being like, the advent of the smartphone and the world at your fingertips and the world's and like going on and on about the state of the world and how humans in society have like laid waste all the wonders out there and are like wasting away and are just all these like just pontificating at great lengths. And it's funny to see how Lestat does a very similar thing here.
Endless cache of influencer videos, Russian dash cams, and shame-ridden pornography. Or are we still pretending that you're human?
So not about sucking dick.
No.
Performative journalist.
Were you a stutterer as a child?
He asks again.
He doesn't like that question. Well, we can come back to it.
And again, very curious because he's really only opened up to us so far in his like Failures album, like, and which has been that's been aside from what he's done with Daniel, which is be very like he obfuscates and deflects and like does everything but answer the questions. And I have to like recontextualize these scenes because I keep forgetting that the Failures narration is separate from the interviews that Daniel's trying to conduct. So even though he has told us the theoretical recipient, the one who purchased the music box and has access to the entirety of the Failures, he's told us that, but has not told Daniel that, or really opened up in this capacity.
Vampires tried to kill you, yeah?
Is it a question if you merely put yeah at the end of the sentence?
He seemed organized,
Get
which
snippy.
is a financed vanity romp, your vampire wishful spin on hope I die before I get old. Is my doc your eulogy?
Did you promise him?
Nobody gives a f about what I was before. No one cares.
No one seems to give a shit about you now, flatlining a 1,000 capacity venue.
Uh-oh.
About the pursuit, then.
Yeah, see, this is what I was hoping for, though, was for Daniel to cut through the Brat Prince bullshit and get to the quick of it. Now, of course, he's going to be doing what he does best, which a lot of people sometimes get pissy about, which is that Daniel, like, he'll get mean. He'll get like really. He's trying to worm his way in there, and if he can't get there through normal means, he'll be provocative. He'll be antagonistic. He'll, whether it's right or not, whether it's like morally justifiable, some of the questions that he asks and what he does, but especially being in his position right now as a vampire and like, I thought immortal, but with all these illusions here, but he's doing what he does best, which is getting like hardcore journalist, and now with Lestat especially putting up all these walls and deflecting and such. That's like the only way he might actually get through to him is in this capacity.
About asses on seats or streams on Pandora.
Spotify.
Pure expression. Raphael's Three Graces. Brancuski's Bird in Space. Calvino's Invisible...
But at the same, that freeze frame though. Although I don't like how he's genuinely getting upset and trying to express his frustration, and his mother borderline rolling his eyes, be like, "Oh, my son and his flights of fancy." Over to Daniel, who's like, "Ah, your son and his flights of fancy." Daniel doesn't know that he's the son still, but my point stands. Three Graces. An oil painting by the Italian painter Raphael in the Musée Condé in Chantilly, France. The date of origin has not been positively determined. Depicts three of the graces of classic mythology. It is frequently asserted that Raphael was inspired in his painting by a ruined Roman marble statue displayed in the Piccolomini library of the Siena Cathedral. Represents stages of development of women, with the girded figure on the left representing the maiden, woman to the right, maturity. Though other interpretations have certainly been advanced. I see. So he's just giving examples of like what are kind of his inspirations for like raw expression. Brancusi's Bird in Space. Brancusi's Bird in Space. Oh, a sculpture. French-born Romania. Oh, fitting. From the 20s to the 40s, 1900s, the theme of a bird in flight preoccupied Brancusi. He concentrated on the animal's movement rather than their physical attributes. In Bird in Space, the sculptor eliminated wings and feathers, elongated the swell of the body, and reduced the head and beak to a slanted oval plane. Balanced on a slender conical footing, the figure's upward thrust appears unfettered. The sculpture is part of a series that includes 7 marble sculptures and 9 bronze casts. Very, yeah, very simple. Bird in space. It's not what I would have got from it, honestly. But just taking a bird and just deconstructing and reducing it down to its most simple, like its simplest form of interpretation, short of just like a line or something. I don't know how I feel about that one, not gonna lie. Calvino's Invisible. Calvino's Invisible. Invisible City, is that what it is? A philosophical novel by an Italian author, Italo Calvino, framed as a series of conversations between Mongol Emperor Kublai Khan and Venetian traveler Marco Polo. Interesting. Kublai Khan and Marco Polo, the aging, weary emperor, realizes his vast empire is crumbling and meaningless. To entertain him and make sense of his realm, Marco Polo vividly describes dozens of impossible, fantastical cities. The underlying truth. As their conversations unfold, the reader realizes that all the diverse cities Marco describes are ultimately reflections of his home, Venice, refracted through his memory and desires. I like that a lot. Ooh, okay, very telling as well.
Or streams on Pandora. Pure expression!
Expression.
Raphael's Three Graces. Calvino's Invisible...
And I see what he's saying, by the way. The point he's trying to make is you have all these things, especially the bird in space is what makes me think of it. He said you're confusing you're confusing the what are his exact words again?
Let's take a walk.
You're confused about
You're confused about the pursuit.
the pursuit, then. It is not about asses on seats or streams.
So it's not about the pursuit, it's about pure expression, and all these works of art he's referencing are especially with like Bird in Space, right? Just expression in its purest form. Like there's not a whole lot of intricacy to it outside of outside of the intent of the piece in general, as far as my interpretation is. But it's about what the artist is trying to communicate through work.
It is about pure expression.
Ooh. He's getting to him though. He's getting to him. And Gabriella's a little bit just amused by it.
Embarrassing. The stutter.
Stop the cameras.
No, come. Let them see.
Oh, here we go.
Let them see.
Okay, open it up now. Oh, see?
Have had.
I don't know if I love this Rumspringa Danny Boy Malloy over here. Rumspringa Malloy is that he's it's tricky, right? I love Daniel, and I'm glad to see people like I feel conflicted now, right? Because I like to see the Brat Prince put in this place, but at the same time, the more vulnerable Lestat that I'm coming to like learn about and know, and like I can't help but to sympathize with further and further. Like these are very touchy, vulnerable subjects for him, and now that he's like, I mean, he's getting to a point now where it's like emotionally exhausting him, and he's like, all right, fine, you want me to tell you? I'll fucking tell you. And of course, Daniel over here is like, I got the son of a bitch now, and he's like almost like a smug smile. He's like, yeah, finally, I'm gonna get some answers here. I've triggered him enough. I've upset him enough. I've dug enough, and I've attacked enough. I'm finally gonna get the answer I want from my interview.
Let them see.
And here we go.
I have had 40 shows in 40 nights. No one cares.
And he's saying it because he genuinely thinks no one cares about like who he actually is. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. What in the anime? And immediately, and perhaps there is some genuine emotion under the hood there. And he was playing it up too for the camera, and he's like, all right, Daniel, you finally got me to crack, here we go. Oh, bitch, you thought. Like, I swear, I can't.
Vampire Louis de Pointe-de-Lac. Undone by your relentless questionings, Mr.
Oh, damn. You got to Louis, you're not gonna get to me. Oh, no. Well. Truly a tough nut to crack, eh? A tough nut. That's crazy. Whereas like, yeah, you got through to Louis, you got him to open up emotionally and have some breakdown and communicate all his feelings. I read the book. I know your process. I've read up on you too, Danny boy. And no, it's not going to be as easy as ask a tough question repeatedly and wear me down to like crack. Nope. Not gonna happen. Maybe Lestat never gives Daniel the interview that he wants. Maybe he only gives it to us through the failures. Oh man. On the hunt. Here we go. Bro's gonna roll up.
You got the wrong address.
Damn. What brief call, important message.
I'm looking for killer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see?
Don't do that. Just think it. I'm a vampire. Just like you. Except I didn't disrespect my face like you done.
Oh, damn.
What is that?
Oh,
Is that
no.
Jar Jar Binks dunking a basketball? What?
Never did I think in all these years that I would hear Louis Dupont de Loc refer to Jar Jar Binks in any capacity, but here we are. Damn. Only a few seconds. Only about 10 seconds or so. Well, here we go. Wakey, wakey. Oh, shit. Rolling up. Oh, look at that. Dude, he's slick with it, too. Damn. Oh, shit. The fact that he's so lackadaisical about it too. Oh, hey, anybody seen Killer? You seen Killer? You know, you're not Killer. It's like man on a mission over here. Also, moments like this you can excuse not seeing the direct violence and bloodshed because it's done so in a borderline morbidly, well, it's a morbidly funny capacity, but also the framing of the shot is very similar to the scene in season 2 when the Parisian coven goes after that like manor house, and they're like Louis and Armand are outside talking, and then Claudia and Santiago and the gang are inside ripping and tearing. So it's a fun shot there. Oh, hold still, Lord. How about you? Oh, possum. Good Lord. Oh my. This one's for the girlies out there. The fit though. Roll up with the tank top. Casually killing over here.
Through the fields. Don't look back.
Second chance at life. Go for it.
8 wolves by yourself.
Damn.
Everyone always repeats the number when I say.
And again, very telling of Louis and his humanity and all that. He didn't have to help them, but he's like, yeah, you know, I'm here on a mission and all that, but still trying to help, you know, human beings, once again, feeling a kinship with them.
I had a pistol, a rifle, a dagger, a mastiff.
A flail.
The stuttering wolf killer.
I thought he had a flail. Hang on. Well, Mastiff is his dog, right? That's curious. So in the scene, Sam Reed says he had a flail on him that you can barely make out in the shot, but in the canon of the show, he just says he had the pistol, his mastiff. No one ever believes it. A pistol, a rifle, a dagger, and a mastiff. But canonically, no flail. Sorry, guys.
The stuttering wolf killer.
Always
That
with the
was
study.
the first name for our band. Hello, killers, are you ready to rah rah rah?
Oh, see,
29
look at him. They're going toe to toe right now. Lestat trying to hold up his front. Daniel's first tactic didn't work out. He's got to shift. He's got to try again. Find another angle.
Stuttered. I stuttered. Yes, and every kill I have made is a response. My entire psyche is formed from the default. Down in a dentist chair, opening your mouth wide, only to have the dentist say, "I'm not a dentist," as he lubes up a thick rubber glove. So you be gentle, Dan.
Oh, Lord.
I think he's just bored by you. Try asking him about the Great Conversion.
Happened at age 9.
But of course, yeah, she can talk to him, but she can't read his thoughts because he's her maker, right? So over here chatting it up with yeah, interesting. Oh no.
I was taken to see witches being burned at a stake.
Tell me about that.
Marguerite Doré, Jeanne Baudin, the twins, Marthe and Aimé Roulet. Teenage girls with the resonant voices of men, screaming and thrashing for hours till their jawbones fell and the devil could sing no more.
And you were 9.
What moms did with kids before Lego and Peppa Pig.
Haha. Little dig at mom.
2 for 4 is not bad, considering it was a priestly-led sentence.
What happened at 29?
Oh, and now 29. Is that a ring you got from Nikki? I heard music.
Oh, you made it to Paris.
And now, this isn't the failures as much. I believe this is... But then, see, I'm curious, because then the framing of this is Daniel interviewing Lestat, but then as the audio changes to something more deep and sultry, you almost think it's part of the failures. But typically, whenever it is the failures, you have our, let's just say, narrator opening up to announce as such. So that was at 9, and now at 29, I assume. 29 years, and now we're in Paris, and I assume we're going to meet Nikki finally.
What struck my heart was the way that his whole body leaned into the music.
Ah.
Now I would have found it pedestrian.
Huh.
But I was an ape from over.
An ape from Overhound.
I won't miss. Oh, it must be our Mozart raising over all that disturbs your peace, madame, kindly. Peace off!
This is Nikki, who you sing about in your song.
Oh my.
Nicolas
Well.
de l'Enfant. My first love.
Tell me to
Oh my god. Brought out the flintlock. Pulled out the blicky.
Nicolas de l'Enfant.
I know he said the name before, but I just want to make sure I have it down for sure.
Tell me to piss off again! I finished, madame.
Good lord. I didn't even loaded.
Nicolas de l'Enfant.
Lestat. De Lyoncourt.
De Lianco.
De Valois.
De Valois. Oh,
Trying to fit in.
I see. Left home.
wolf-line cloak, eh? Good luck with that.
Hmm.
What are you doing in Paris?
Wolf-lined cloak with one of the wolves that he killed in combat. Well, well, well.
8 wolves.
Yeah, shortly after that, then I assume.
It's my father's stitching.
He gave it to me before I left.
Oh, wow.
And your address on the Rue de
Montmorency.
Still a little bit
I
there.
haven't lived there for 6 months.
But his, it's a little aside look that, that Reed gives in the performance where he's just kind of like the small little bout of shame when he tries to get it. Nikki helps him across the finish line and kind of looks aside. Just a little bit like, ashamed, bashful, like just kind of embarrassed by it. But again, it's the little touches that I really like a lot.
My father's allowance barely covers the cost of my music instruction, much less rent to keep me out of the National Guard. Pity is treason.
Pity is treason.
I play like a tailor's son. Did he say anything else?
He said, tell him I love him. And that I'm proud of him.
You sure?
Help him to be a man. But he said it without this time.
Nah. At least he can kind of poke fun at himself. We're not so different, you and I.
Are you gonna teach me?
Similar fathers. Lestat de voilà. Well, they headed off right away.
It goes where you think it goes. All the old tropes and trapes of tortured and forbidden love, blah, 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 bipolar boyfriend.
Oh, no.
But you're not a vampire. You're the stuttering ape of Auvergne.
Simon, ton, sera tendu.
Any Quebecers here?
Tongue twisters, vocal exercises.
Any Quebecers?
That's theater, a job I got through Nikki who worked in the pit there, so.
Go pull up
Oh.
the song.
So wait, was the guy actually, was that his stunt, like his body double rolling up? Oh my god, and she's like, well, I can't have you right now, so the cucking has begun. I'm gonna go get with your like body double over here. Crazy work.
2 years while I washed the floors and emptied chamber.
Disgusted by the very notion.
Go pull up the song for him. That Why Do I Have to Feel?
Oh, I love
So
that song.
the stuttering.
Oh no.
Get it out of yourself.
I like how Christine is also kind of just in the wings, arms crossed, just kind of like watching like a hawk or trying to watch over and do her job, like trying to also be there to help like Lestat and like her lover to an extent and do damage control, which is her job, but like how she's kind of present and trying to be vigilant.
Buried yourself in the ground for a century over a not great love. Only thing you carry with you to New Orleans is a music box reminder of a not great love.
I carried the
Yep.
box.
The music box that means a lot to him, so much so that what is it that he ends up putting all of his honest to God recollections in, and these his memoirs, essentially memoirs of a geisha, memoirs of a vampire, but all in an enormous music box. I destroyed
You perform
him.
her song.
Oh, good God. She's doing it on purpose, too. So close nearby.
Can someone do something about this? Quite on set.
Quiet on set. Well, that's getting to him. Jesus Christ. No, dude, this is some crazy, like, attention-seeking shit, too, man. This is like she's not getting what she wants from him, so she's, okay, well, we had a deal, so this is so fucked, dude. That's fucked, man. We're like she's like, well, you won't fuck me, so I'm going to literally get the closest thing I can, which is your body double, make him wear the wig while he does it. I'm going to go into a bathroom only feet away from this little interview you're having. And I'm sure in her head she's like, what? You're clearly not enjoying it. You're bored by Daniel. You're bored by all of this. But we were having fun, and we could be having even more fun. Listen to the fun we could be having in the side. Like, that's that. And then like literally like over it posted quiet on set. Bro walks in and is like, hey, we can hear you. And she's like, yeah, I know. Good. And just starts like dramatic, just like screaming even louder. Like I want everybody to hear. I want him to hear. I want him to hear this happening, to hear me in the throes of sexual pleasure right here. Or maybe even if not pleasure, she's like, this is just like rage bait. It's also just like rage bait, cucking. Also like I'm having sex with the closest thing I can to you right now because you won't do it. We could be doing this and it could be so much better, but that's crazy work.
So,
Jesus Christ, I can't with this. I get out of town with that. So literally, which is 100% on purpose. Like that's twisted, man.
transforming you into a vampire?
Yeah, I see it as an unbroken chain of similar songs in pop music. The Breath You Take by the Police, I love that one. Eminem's Stand.
According to Agnes, he took me from my room in Paris as I kicked and screamed.
Does that even sound like me, Dan?
My coloring,
Where's
my
the
physique.
artful turn of phrase? Where's the assonance, the euphony?
He fed on me for...
Does it sound like me? Where's the artful turn of phrase?
Louis was not there when Agnes abducted me.
But he was there in New Orleans when you recounted it.
And I was not there in Dubai to correct his faulty recall.
Okay, well then give us the true version of events then. Oh my god.
I think you're something special.
I'm sorry, but this is how it happened. You're telling me backlit and with the anachronistic lights backlighting you as he's in the back row with a beer. Magnus clearly with the fucking great white black. You know how like a great white's eyes go to black when they smell the blood, just the blood in the back, and Needle is fingering the beer, just being like, oh, how lovely he was. Like, bro low-key looks like the guy from I've never seen Hocus Pocus, but who's the guy Doug Jones plays in the like a little bit.
Something special, babe.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is how it happened.
You out tonight.
He would never notice me. But here's the song in question.
I got a bottle of wine.
Oh boy.
That's me at your window, babe.
I mean, I believe that maybe something similar-ish may have happened where he spotted him after a performance of some type and then like just set his eyes on him, but there's clearly very purposefully anachronistic elements of this recollection that like elevated above a simple anecdote. Oh my god. Oh, I could never. Oh my god. The way they're painting this, that he's painting it. Painting at the table. But this is so quintessentially Lestat, is it not? Like the very idea that like something that's going to be much more dark and twisted than this and how it actually transpired, and for him to cope and to turn it into something else, he's taking his trauma and painting it almost like a rom-com, right? Like just a way to kind of just gussy it up, put lipstick on a pig, as it were. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my, stop. Come on. Is this what book readers are pissed about, by the way? No. And this makes so much more sense with the context of Lestat's history. I'm a dog and you're my brave little wolf killer. But again, this is Lestat, like this is classic Lestat right here, which is that we're going to see what is a very traumatic series of events, but taken and transformed into a way that's more palatable for not only recollecting, but also for his internalization of it, or like how he's going to cope with like thinking about it. Yeah.
I understood my maker.
You recall it fondly, but was it actually fond?
As of my Lilio, I would have abandoned all decorum too.
Abandoned decorum.
Second-tier theater, squatting in a beheaded nobleman's flat with a severely depressed love.
Are you still boring my beauty?
How was the kielbasa crafty?
And as for the suicide, it gave me a lightness that I would not have known had he loitered the centuries beside me.
Yeah, see, oh, yo. Jesus.
When I say God, and you say monster. Alive father walking around that gives you this lowly idea.
Oh, trying to turn the tables.
Who needs another victim song?
But it's even more interesting. So we're seeing Daniel try all his usual tactics right now for the interview, and Lestat is just simply not budging. Lestat is recounting, but he's again reframing, recontextualizing. He's trying to dampen and lessen the severity of the original story that Daniel got from Louis, which again, Louis's whole story being one that's trying to paint Lestat in a very particular light, leaving out some key details and facts rehearsed through the years, of course, with the help from Armando. But then again, I'm left with a different conundrum than I had in season 1 and 2, where instead of the Odyssey of Recollection and what all is being remembered correctly or not, with Lestat, the tricky part with him now is that he remembers it all. The question is, what is he going to actually tell and divulge? What is he going to share versus what he's going to try to tell a little bit differently or try to recontextualize it or like paint it in a different light, you know?
That part right in my book.
Oh!
He
Damn.
confronted you on the street, abducted Nicky, fed him to his coven, and yet...
Lashing out.
From him, yeah?
You're safe.
Oh, the rest of the Parisian scene playing out.
Why am I weak?
You were bled.
Miriam took you. I've been your nursemaid, you've been dull company.
So, Lestat has still not been turned yet, right?
Rush.
No, but I'm an idiot. No, so when he first meets Nicky, he's not turned, and then Magnus shows up, and then he kind of yada yadas over that and skips over the Magnus archives, pun intended. And now we cut to here. So Lestat's already been turned. Nicky was taken in to the Parisian coven by Armand in order to lure in Lestat, who then destabilizes the Parisian coven and gets Armand, dethrones Armand from power, which is what Armand low-key wanted him to do. But also Armand had already bled Nicky, but Nicky hasn't been turned yet.
Gone out of the window! So nothing unnatural happened! You returned, wearing silk breeches.
Don't you? It's the patron.
Lies on lies on lies. Sudden vanishings.
Nicky's smart and perceptive. So, curious, the boy that has abandonment issues abandoned his first love. Lestat had... Well, he said fled from the window, but he was taken by Magnus, so...
The vampire Gabriella.
Blood on her lips, more lies!
And he's going to connect the dots? Oh, here we go.
To Paris. Her body was ready to die. My first fledgling.
And now is the other shoe dropped? Do we... No? Huh.
My love was a small box that I kept him in. No room for the many hours I talked to her, I guess.
Damn.
And where is she now?
She's here right now.
Oh. In spirit?
Right
here in my heart. Still doesn't reveal, I see.
She died. Vampire toddlerdom. Always the hardest years, as you know. Or don't know, Dan.
Huh. Surely he's got to put 2 and 2 together eventually.
What do you think about the Great Conversion?
Oh, the vampire thing.
Huh.
Vampires taking over the world, collaborating.
Deleting the Y chromosome.
Stupid. Can you get out of my eye line?
Yeah.
Intense stare. Great Conversion dropped again.
Mother.
Outside the theater, the ragged man calling wolf killer, blackened passages and dog-tooth feet.
You're gaslighting him, man.
Don't look
to her.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Bank account in your name.
I could move to a van and sell cloth.
Don't
Mother, please.
Speaks my thoughts before I speak them. You gave this witchery to her.
She's enjoying this. She enjoys all this way too much.
Or from death.
Finally. She has all these fantasies anyway that she...
Do you want me to murder
I want you to love me enough to give it to me!
Damn. You loved your mother enough to turn her, but you won't turn me. You left me already. Now you're back here for what? For pity? To give me money and resources and all this, but not the love? I want you to love me enough to also give me the same gift.
You mustn't do it.
Oh, boy.
I've driven him mad, and now I leave him to this madness.
You have used up your affection. Don't bring him into eternity.
She's not wrong, but also she's like, who is she to make that decision for him?
I cannot hear the actors over his improvement.
Oh, no.
Gustav's acting. Well, you can return to the role anytime you wish.
And now we have Armand and Lestat, but not from Armand's account, but from Lestat's account.
I cannot hear the actor.
So, because he said he turned Nikki, but then he ended up like losing himself, couldn't handle the gift. Which, by the way, it's interesting how he's very upset by what's happened. But to write off his frustration and heartbreak and anger as, oh, you've driven him mad, like I don't get that. That's kind of like a little bit facetious, isn't it? Like, he wasn't driven mad. He hasn't lost his mind. His complaints and his concerns are quite valid, in fact. And he feels like, I mean, granted, he's in a state of mind now where he's like, I wish you would love enough to give me the gift, like give this gift to me. But the vampirism aside and all that, I think he has every right to be upset that his lover just kind of vamoosed and then showed up out of nowhere and is like, you know, taken up with clearly somebody else, but now is going with his mother and they're off gallivanting and there's some type of like, Nikki can tell that something like otherworldly is afoot and is more hurt by the fact that this person that says that he loves him isn't like sharing in that or you know, giving that same affection and care towards him. But I wouldn't say Nikki was driven mad in that. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration.
You can return to the role anytime you wish.
And have your cumbersome words in my mouth again?
Damn.
No, thank you.
Your cumbersome words. Just like literally like, so then Armand, of course, is falling for Lestat and they're having a fling of sorts. There's a weird love triangle between Lestat and Nikki, Lestat and Armand, Lestat and his mother. Like, it's such a mess, man. So now, still in Paris, and it's Armand, God, Armand in box with Lestat and Gabrielle.
They're the blood drinkers in Italy.
Excuse me?
They're covens like this one in Roma, Venezia, Salerno.
Does Nicola know about us?
Us? You're the actor manager? Manage.
You're his maker. Make him.
Oh, he hasn't been turned yet.
Older than you.
Akasha.
Your maker, Marius.
Oh, Marius. Oh dear. His eyes were lighting up right there. Has he been given the gift already? But also, I like the way I always like it as a little quirk of mine in media and film and television when to show a character's like degrading self in one way or another, or it's a disheveled hair, like, you know, the slicked back hair and then the strands end up falling down or something like that, or it becomes messy. And the fact that he has the middle part and then just the two flocks of hair that's like clearly like just like making him look slightly crazed. I give you the Théâtre des Vampires. Oh, Lord. Bro said, have you told him about us? So Armand, oh my God. So Armand is like, have you told Nikki about us? Like, you know, what we are? And he's like, what is us? Like, you think we're something right now? Good Lord. But now again, it's easy to say, oh, he went mad. But well, it might look to the public like he's gone mad. I can tell. I mean, he's definitely in an emotionally tumultuous state. It's him trying to take to the gift, well, the dark gift he's been given, but taking to being a creature of the night while also having to contend with this tumultuous romance of Lestat and his situationships.
He'll find his way.
No, he won't.
I believe you.
I believe you.
I love you, Lestat.
In this box of your desperation.
Oh, damn. Damn, dude. Also, funny how I feel like Armand only like because immediately Gabrielle is like he won't take to it, and then I feel like Armand almost only only disagrees against her just for the sake of again just just desperately going for Lestat's approval and attention, at least as far as Lestat's recalling the story. Where it's just like, I love you, Lestat. Don't worry, he'll take to it. I know he will. Good lord.
He was dramatic as a mortal. He'll find his way.
No, he won't.
I believe you.
I believe you.
There's not room enough in this box.
As he's like crying down there, sobbing while playing.
Letter opener, Nikki. We don't get any letters.
You want to talk about your recent work?
Is he looking in the chamber pot?
But I left it there a week ago. You don't like my music, Maître. Well, it's not me.
Oh, maybe he did. He is losing it.
You should take some time away from the theater, Nikki.
Oh no.
Last Sunday, the Hotel de Ville and the Feast of Assumption and the night after.
Stop! Look at me!
To make the opener happy, I was trying to give it purpose. Here it is.
Perhaps he did lose his mind then. Oh my. And she's just bemused. Or amused, legitimately.
Can you cut the other? Fear I won't be able to with only one now.
Can you help him, please?
Christ.
No.
Nikki,
Just
stop!
on the way to Saint-Denis.
Stop!
Would you point the way?
No!
Them having their kind of I told you so moment.
Forgive me. My hands are much older than the rest of me. Forgive me.
Ay. There's some psychology here that I'm definitely severely underqualified to get into. My mind tells me that the unraveling of Nicolas de la Font started when Louis was taken away. Like this, when Lestat was taken away. I think it's just unfortunate circumstances. If this went down the way that I believe it truly went down, which is that they were a happy couple and they were in love and that was all well and good, but then Magnus ends up while he's hunting or out scouting, spots Lestat at the theater and falls for him or is entranced by him, and then predatory nature takes over, and after days of stalking and tailing or hunting, as it were, he ends up taking Lestat away from his home, kidnapping him, and then keeping him chained up somewhere to feed on I'd assume assault, because he's in love with him to an and wants the feelings reciprocated. Something tells me that Magnus took him away, did all that, and then Magnus was like, I want you to be my fledgling, I want you to be my companion, but I want you to want it. I want you to have the same love that I feel for you. But Lestat didn't feel that. So I'm assuming we're going to get, either in this episode or in another one, a very dark series of events where Lestat, to try to cope with the trauma of it, is painting it in a very obviously an untrue light, a very facetiously portrayed romantic pairing that was blown out of proportion by Louis and company. But it seems like Magnus took Lestat. Magnus systematically tortured and sexually assaulted him because he's like, I want you to love me, and I'm going to keep on loving you and keep you here until you love me the way that I want you to love me. And Lestat eventually gets broken down to a point where finally he gives in and says, okay, I love you. I want the gift. Whatever you want, I can't take it anymore. Whatever you want. Magnus turns him, eventually throws himself into the fire, perhaps with, I don't know, regret for what he's done, or maybe he knows he's like a monster, or it could be anything. Maybe, because that's what Lestat told them happened. Lestat very well could throw, if Magnus is the one who assaults sexually and physically and then turns Lestat pretty much against his will, someone tells me with his newfound power, he probably throws Magnus into the fire himself and kills his maker, and that'll be a big revelation we'll have. And then Lestat, and the trauma one by one, because then Lestat finally is able to leave. After he's been turned, he goes and immediately helps his alien mother, and Lestat, freshly tortured and having survived that trauma barely and reunited with actual kin that he has, his mother, which again, not a healthy relationship. Then the two of them rip apart the Liancourt family, or all that's there at the house, then return here to town. And like, it's just unfortunate timing because then they all get back. And then, of course, because he still loves and misses Nikki, returns to him and tries to, well, it seems like, because in the flashback that Armand spelled out, they're walking down the streets of Paris, and then Armand is the one who's has the coven already there. And then the way Armand tells it is that, oh, well, then I saw him and he was in direct violation of the laws and such. So I guess after a month, Lestat comes back wearing whether he's in different clothing or not, I don't know. Reunites with Nikki. He has to, because Nikki was like, I know that you're changed. No, but that's later. So comes back, reunites with Nikki. They're out in the town doing their thing. Armand gets involved because Armand sees Lestat and is both in fear, frustrated and angered by his direct shirking of the rules and breaking of his disregard for the great laws. And then they have a little tit for tat in the street if that's accurately how it went down. And then to go Lestat into coming to the coven, he kidnaps. This is a long series and chain of events. Kidnaps Nikki, brings him down to the coven in the catacombs, bleeds him, and then that's when, of course, Lestat shows up and then disbands the Parisian coven and takes back Nikki. But then at that point, Nikki has been kidnapped. He's been drained. He's also suffered not drained, but sipped from. But he's also experienced some trauma. That's when he realizes, hey, you were gone for a month. I don't know what happened to you. That was already traumatic for me enough. Now you're wearing new clothing. Your eyes are different. Your mother's here. So I think like Nikki's unraveling started right about there. Like the trauma of his love disappearing for a month, just gone out of nowhere. Shows back up. He's different. Being kidnapped, being like drained of bled of a lot of his blood. But all these little trauma by definition being like violations of your expectations, right? So it's like all these traumas one after the other, and then this like his love here, like being disenfranchised to that love with the Armand and the mother triangle. I think that's what probably was like the first bits to the first little cracks in the mental armor that started kind of driving Nikki a little bit to the edge of sanity. And then Lestat thought, oh, I can fix this if I just also give him the gift and turn him, because Nikki, and not really realizing truly what he's asking for, is then like, I wish you loved me enough to give it to me. Like one after another, like Lestat is facing these traumatic situations one by one and being forced to make these decisions that he does not want to make, or that he shouldn't make for his own health and well-being, but he does anyway out of love or care, or what he thinks is an equivalent of such, or what almost like payments and like towards debts that he feels are almost incurred to a degree. But unfortunately, it was the wrong combination of actions and sentiments that has led Nikki down this path. So even though Lestat was I think he was legitimately trying to help by turning Nikki, but he didn't realize that he was a catalyst and one of the final little nails in the coffin here. But I wouldn't blame Nikki's unraveling entirely on Lestat. I think it's unfortunately they're both a victim of their circumstances, but it seems like Magnus is truly the one to blame in all of this. But damn, dude, I didn't think Nikki was mad before, but look at her, this like this witchy, devilish figure who's just amused by the psychological unraveling of Lestat's like first true love and paramour. And notice how he also says, by the way, technically his mother was, well, I'm glad he at least distinguishes like whether he's lying to save face or hasn't gotten to the incestuous part of it all. It's interesting how he keeps saying over and over again, the narrative that he perpetuates is Nikki was my first love, when technically, by definition of, and even if it's not true or really healthy or wholesome, Gabriella was kind of sort of his first love in a really, macabre, gothic sense.
Leaving us and Armand, I told Nikki that I loved him from the first seconds I saw him in Paris. Drunk with his love, I was engulfed. Your maker would tell you I was being kind, but I remember the light.
I think he's being genuine now.
Reflecting golden onto his face. Bare arms. But I would not look at the wound. I could not. As Armand pushed him into the fire, with a poker in his chest. Nicky had a bemused look on his face as he burned. His mouth formed into a circle. Made only one sound.
Oh. Gonna start singing the song. Oh. I thought he was gonna turn it around again.
It was nothing.
I'm angry! Well, can we get something that... yeah, okay, we're cutting.
Well, he got a little bit out of him right there. He got a little bit. I'm not sure I'm a fan of like Daniel's faces that he made right there. Like the interest was like him locking into the story and getting interested by it was one thing, but there were moments where he was like almost like in a state of, I don't know, hunger, pleasure, something. But so interesting. The way the stories are told is that, like, at least in the Théâtre de Vampire, and the way that I've heard the story so far is that Nicky went mad and threw himself into the fire. But the truth of the matter is that Lestat didn't have the I shouldn't say courage. He didn't have the strength to deliver unto Nicky that what he might see as a mercy in that moment. So Armand, and whether there were any words spoken or thoughts shared, Armand kind of was like, I know what must happen. I know you don't have the strength to do it, but I love you, so I'll do it for you. And then put Nicky in the fire. And Nicky was so far gone at that point, which I kind of wish we got more of Nicky. We got some good scenes, but if the descent into madness feels a little bit sudden. I mean, we had a little bit of Nicky in season 2, and now we have a couple more scenes in this episode, but I don't want to say it felt rushed per se. Like there's enough there where I can see it happening, but I kind of felt like he went from 0 to 100 on the, for lack of a better term, the crazy-o-meter kind of quickly. No? Am I missing something here? Like, it's just interesting. I mean, I guess sort of the first step in that is that, well, I guess maybe they are showing it step by step, right? Where the first step is him clearly being emotionally perturbed by the circumstances. I want you to love me enough to give it to me. And then, okay, he's very emotionally volatile, immediately starts playing violin in the side room, definitely kind of emotionally a little all over the place, mentally still kind of there. We cut to the théâtre, and he's there and he's playing, his playing's getting maybe a little bit better, but it's a little bit loud. Armand claims it's drowning out other actors and all that. But then he's shouting and kind of raving and being like, welcome to the theater and all this, here it is. And clearly still perturbed. And then we have the full, dissolvement, the full breakdown of Nicky back in his home. But it still kind of felt a little bit on the quicker side. And the thought of that is like so emotionally overpowering, because this is a man that he was his first fucking love, dude. This was the guy that he loved and intensely cared for. And I'm not gonna lie, this season is doing, like I said, exactly what I wanted it to do, which is that it is giving me more, even if it's not 100% clear cut, it's giving me more access into Lestat's head, his heart, and I'm learning more about his story and learning about recollection of events from how he's saying it. He tells the truth, even if he embellishes in such a way or twists or perverts the version of like what's happening. Like he's telling us what happened. There is no odyssey of recollection here. He remembers every minute detail from the day he was fucking 9 years old, and even then some, even earlier. But he paints it in a different light as a way of coping with his trauma. But even then, like, just like trauma after trauma after fucking trauma, like just this unfortunate life path of just the hardship and the strife and the struggle and the unfortunate circumstances one after the other that are being thrust upon him, these situations that are spiraling out of his control, forced into these, like, to do things against his will time and time again, or in order to find some semblance of love or compassion or kinship or anything like that. It's tragic, dude. It's tragic. Now, granted, does that still justify him to also perpetuate said actions in his current timeline, or at least as far as what Louis has told us he's done? Now, we're going to find out how much of what Louis has said he's done, if it's really, the true or not. We'll find that out for sure. But if it is true, and he has done some not great things. It's once again a case of, you know, it's like I always refer to Handsome Jack in Borderlands 2, which is that it's a guy who has kind of become monstrous in a lot of what he has done, but he wasn't always that way. And he's a victim of his circumstances and a product of his environment. And the fact that Gabriella here is like pleased by this, that if Gabriella goes from being horny to being amused to being like almost pleased to see. I think what it is, I'll tell you what it is right now. And somebody in the comments pointed this out. She's almost borderline pleased by the suffering of her son. And she turns that into, like, talk about predatory instincts, right? The way that I would condemn Lestat for his predatory hunting and courtship of Louis, right? But like, this is since childhood the way that Gabriella is like the grooming leading up to this. But the fact that she's like right here, she's like, oh goody, my son is in distress and emotionally vulnerable and in a very like delicate mental state. Well, surely he'll want to seek comfort in my bosom now. Surely he'll want to hang out with me and maybe even take me to bed right now. Like, that's exactly what she's fucking thinking. And that part, not the incestuous relationship and like they're just the involvement of them together, but the psychology behind her motives and all that, that's the part that disgusts me. That's the part that's like her seeing this, and as far as I can tell, just based on her fucking facial expressions and her licking her goddamn lips as he opens up about this traumatic experience that he had, and the first instinct this fucking bitch is gonna have is, oh, now he'll want me, now he'll need mommy, now he'll need my companionship, now he'll probably want to cave and give me what I want.
Rhode Island, 8,000 seats. I thought this deep in we'd be able to fill it. 2,500 including a papering service. Unlike your last vampire, there are no delusions here. It's not what I hunt. Never say I didn't give you anything. Keys.
There you go.
Was staying open so they could
Oh, now he's going for that drive that we saw in the trailer. Man, I got to give him some respect for this, right? I got to give him some respect. Like he's calling out Louis. He's like, you interviewed one fucking vampire and you think you've cracked the code to interviewing like me and all of this and knowing all the facts of the case. Louis told you a goddamn rehearsed script with his odyssey of recollection and things that weren't quite true and his version of events from a very biased perspective. I might put on this persona. I might have flights of fancy. I might have my hedonistic pursuits and desires. I might paint my trauma in a light that makes it more palatable for me to consume and sit with and live with. I'm getting emotional about this. Damn, I didn't think I'd be related to Lestat right now. Shit. Right. It's one of those things where it's like all the traumas and such that you go through and all your experiences, and it's like I'm many things and I can relate to that, where it's like, look, I might be like sarcastic as hell, and I might be like a smarmy asshole sometimes, and I might go clowning on my friends, and I might be saying all this shit, and I might be joking all the time and not taking some certain things seriously, but I'm not a goddamn liar. And I tell the truth and I tell the story and I give you something, right? Like I give you a part of myself in some extent. That's what he's doing. Say what you want about him, but he's like, I might paint it in a certain light. I might tell it in a certain way. I might obfuscate it, but like I tell the truth. That's all there is to it. I might tell it a certain way, but like I'll tell you what happened. It got me emotional. Damn. Jesus. That was a lot for him. What's the I think about that scene with Louis in the Dubai penthouse where he's like, this is hard. Like,
Was check me.
Like Carlo Vivari, fun for 3 minutes.
Prague is that way. You can dig yourself a hole and be buried in a matcha the night after.
Provoked.
Bored.
Provoked.
It's that way. There's a shameful tiki bar in Parkdale.
Rain check, Sophia.
Oh, wow. I'll see you later, Sophia. Damn. Depersonalization. Yeah. You're not getting, and look at that. And Lestat, good for him for not caving in and resorting to what he might have done in the past and like, wounded and provoked, and then mommy gets what she wants and it gets to give the comfort that Lestat is like craving for and that companionship. No, he's like, that's good for him right there. Well, you got somewhere, Daniel. Hope it was worth it.
All right, run it back about, I don't know, 4 minutes.
How do
Trying
you
to
feel
crack
about
those
that?
cheeks for 2 months. Vampires, we're just like you.
And now he's trying to play it and be all playful about it and but I think everybody in that room felt the emotional turmoil of that. And they're going to be like, yo, dude, that was a lot. He seems to be in emotional distress here and you're celebrating right now.
Okay, let's see.
Now, did we get any of it on film? Or did he mess up with the cameras?
What the hell?
Oh.
Go back a few more minutes, please.
Was it all in his head? Was it all just like...
What am I looking at here?
Oh, no.
Did you go back far enough? All right, let's keep going back.
Did anybody else in the room hear it?
There, stop.
Surely.
Get out of my eye line.
Where's the part where he talks about transforming Nikki?
But he just.
Did it actually happen? Because somebody was in the eye line, which was distracting him. So did he get... Because we saw Daniel was like transfixed in that moment. It was like really locked in between the two, as Gabriella was also like aware of what was happening. But did the two of them just sit there for several minutes and just like silently look at each other, and the whole crew was just like, what is happening right now?
Sat there like a blow-up doll and no one said anything? Nothing?
Damn.
You gotta be kidding me. What is this?
No, yeah,
Damn.
it was frickin' Weirdsville.
Oh, no.
Half an hour, eh?
Damn.
He was crying blood tears. Did no one see that?
A mean-spirited telepathic prank.
Damn.
It brought poor Dan to his knees and seeded a hate for me inside him.
Oh, no.
But what can I say?
Damn. Dude, Lestat's over here playing 4D chess. Damn. I mean, Daniel got what he wanted. He got the answers he wanted, but not on his terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, he opened up, he gave him the truth of the story, but he's like, that is not yours to tell. It is my story. You want it so badly, here it fucking is. But you know what? No one else can have that. You can know the truth, that's fine. No one else can have my truth. He cried blood tears. He sat there like a blow-up doll for 30 minutes. Nobody said anything? Yeah, man, it was weird, dude.
You were listening to The Failures, album 28, side B.
Surely not. Excuse me, surely not. What? As a major landmark in Toronto gets demolished in the background?
You were listening to The Failures, album 28, side B.
Oh, boy. The beginning of the end?
Never press home.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this with the chain, the Hawaiian shirt, picking up another victim back to the house. Oh, this guy. I'm sorry, killer and what? So he literally got the killer tat. Do you think that all this started because of what Claudia said? Claudia was like, you don't look like a Bruce, you look like a killer. And then ever since then, Claudia stuck with him enough where he's like, because I remember he kept her late, broke her bones, then sexually assaulted her for, what was it, like a week, multiple weeks, wasn't it? Kept her under the floorboards, and then one day let her go because I'm tired of looking at your frowning face, yeah, that sad face. I'm paraphrasing, because I'm tired of looking at that sour face of yours. So get out of here. But then stuck with him enough where then he takes on the killer moniker, and then ends up literally forming a gang, the Fang gang, as their killers. Her tattoo says killer, and his says, oh wait, baby. Wait, no, Baby Jank. Oh, wait, shit, hang on. Oh, they have each other's names on them. So that's Baby Janks. Oh, shit, I didn't recognize with the hair and the different dress. That's Baby Janks. Oh, shit. The one who I didn't realize, by the way, was in fact a honeypot. I thought she was just like in it for love of the game, but the fact that she went to the club purposefully, took drugs to make sure she got fed on by Lestat in the crowd to like poison his blood and weaken him so the Fang gang could try to like assassinate him, basically. Oh, Lord. All right, well, Lord. Tattoos of each other's names in their bodies. They both aren't going to survive the night. Treasonous honeypot over here. Oh, Lord.
We're home.
Oh. Armand told the truth. Oh, my God, as they had the whole plot. I like how Louis is sitting here in the room where they have their whole, like, Charlie Day Lestat corkboard, even the shirts. Get out of here. Are those pages of the book or a manuscript or something? Maps of what I assume are the hotel over there. The whole plot and the plan to try to like ambush and kill. And Louis just here waiting.
You're trying to get back to my good side.
Oh, Lord. Oh, he's going to have some fun with him. Going to torture him, make sure he knows who done it, and then burn him, I assume. Now, Killa, old Bruce here, is going to assume it's Lestat.
Surprise.
Damn.
Congrats on the happy day.
Oh, they got a shotgun wedding.
I hope you don't mind me inviting myself to the honeymoon.
Oh, Lord.
You make that mess upstairs, friend? I did. Where's the food? Call him an Uber.
Good luck. Oh! Nice. Damn.
My husband.
Did he take out his spine? Did he take out his damn spine? Just paralyzed him?
Tell me what that is?
Oh, shit. This is about the Lestat shit.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, make it slow, man. Make it slow.
My fault.
Once again, MovieMan over here being like, oh, you know, embrace the human parts, don't give in to the predatory nature, then being like, yeah, make him hurt, boy, make him hurt, give him a... And it's again, Louis doing what he does best. What was the whole thing with that, like, John DiMaggio governor character when he just sliced off the ear and all that? And I'm like, why is your heart racing? Go ahead, reload, I'll give you another chance.
Yeah, that wasn't my fault. These Gen Z fledglings...
Bro literally ripped out his spine.
Call me Bruce, because my name is Killer.
He's still trying to put on a brave face. All the pages. And here it is. All the pages that he very carefully took out that he's like, Daniel, you don't get to read these pages. These are this is Claudia's accounts of what Bruce did to her in what I assume is going to be graphic fucking detail.
You and I have a friend in common.
Boy, oh boy. Oh, is that Magnus back there?
Tea, they call it here.
Oh.
Apples with a hint of cowardice.
Why do I... God, this guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. Between the music and the way the tone is shifting, I feel like the rest of this episode's going to be rough. It's going to be
still in
rough.
rags.
Is this better?
In the tour shirt.
Same face, same smell. No hope for you, Father Max.
The vampire journalist left out a few prickly details. To put your blinkers on.
Oh.
Bruce walked back from the fire.
Here we go.
Leaned down over me. And for a second, I thought I was gonna go right there, but no.
Louis
He plunked me onto his motorbike and switched into his friendly self.
Oh shit. Prayer.
My presence! But we'll live and proclaim what the Lord has done. Back inside!
I guess my biggest question is, why are you tracking me down now? I mean, we all read your little page turner.
It's a lot, one after the other here, but Lestat is coming, now he's coming to terms with the truth of what actually happened. Dude, what was happening was so terrifying for him that he turned back to religion for a moment, just out of sheer fear and terror. And once again, what happens? What's the way that some people have to go through this unfortunate deconstruction of their faith and all that when they go through genuine trauma, and then they're calling out to their God or their faith, like praying, screaming, crying for help and for salvation. And what are they met with? But in advance, by the way, a portion of the recording for the video capture. I'm glad I looked ahead of time because I realized it is so hot in this room with the AC out that the camera overheated. So the audio is still there, luckily, the audio for all this episode. I don't know when exactly the camera cut out. Hopefully it wasn't too long ago. I'll be a little bit upsetty spaghetti if it was, but at least the audio stayed for a good chunk of it, at least. Hopefully for when I got emotional. But luckily I noticed it before we're too far to the end of the episode, so that's good. But kind of thought derailed here. But yeah, it's unfortunate how not to disparage people that have faith or anything like that, and it wasn't massive trauma that led to my deconstruction period personally, but it's unfortunate how people that have their faith and their belief, and then there's those moments where they're under immense trauma or assault, verbal, physical, or otherwise, and they're crying out for help in that regard, and unfortunately there's nobody there to answer. So of course Lestat would be further disenfranchised from any semblance of religion or faith, because at every time that he needed help like that, it was never returned. Now, I'm almost curious as well, like what Bruce is talking about right now, what people online have been asking that are, I think, just show fans, not book fans, is that, like, as Bruce is trying to save face here, put on a brave face, even though his life is about to be fucking over, might I put in. But he's like, but even he is like, I'm curious, like, he's so confident right now. He's like, I'm curious, yeah, why you knew that what I did, but you never came looking for me. Now I read your little page here, your book, like you're well aware of me, that I existed, I did what I did, but why'd you never come looking for me up until right now?
When we got to his house.
And then for Magnus to say, you got your song, like the song that he wrote from the trauma he experienced.
Back inside!
As he tells him back inside, like, get back inside the steel trap that is my head. Like, you're a trauma, you're a bad memory. That's all that you need to be to me. You get back inside there. I don't want to see you coming up like this. You dream Magnus. Yeah, he says you got your song, which is that, like, you got your song. You were effective enough on me and my life and traumatized me enough where you got a whole, like, I wrote a whole song about you. Like, this is that like involves you and like the experience that I had with you. Like,
when we got to his house, page turner, and it's all gone dumb in my mind too. Crossed out. New sentence.
You long table. We eat your soul at the long table.
Basically saying, hey, you started taking a walk down memory lane here. You started you all that, the proverbial table right here. You started thinking about it, you started talking about it, here I am again.
He's going to make an album.
When we are ready!
Smokes with her death. I didn't do nothing that bad to her, Daddy Lou.
Daddy Lou?
Tell you, dear diary, what it's like to have a person crack your spine, open you up, and shove a pencil inside you.
Very odd company.
Oh, jeez.
And a finger, a drummer, a pimp. Claudia.
The long table of his of his loves.
Even with my broken arm,
paramours or otherwise,
and then my re-broken arm. But even still,
damn, dude,
all the bad things happened.
It's fucked him up.
And my dress pulled up around my waist. And that awful, stuffed full, too wet feeling down there.
Executed
like
well,
I was packed with dirt. And I hope one day he feels this. Small and cornered and crushed like a cat. But then there were the parts where he brought home kills. And I sat with him and ate. I just
broke his jaw, dude.
What he wanted to hear.
Child.
And it ain't easy to like myself. The worst thing ever. He left because I seemed small. And it looked like he'd won. And he did win. Because I want nothing. To be nothing. I thought I was the thing lurking in the shadows. I thought I was.
Go for a drive just to feel something at that point. Burn it with him. Damn. Well, aside from the fact that trailers kind of gave that part away, still effective. Now that was an unfortunately very well done kind of parallel there. Execution. Lestat has to relive his trauma because he started talking about it and opened that proverbial trap in his head. Tries to go for a drive to like feel something, kind of get it off his chest, like try to just get out of his head. But unfortunately, by isolating there, only leaves him more susceptible to it. Magnus shows back up. This version, this like phantom that he's kept locked away for years, but now that he's like reopening his trauma, like kind of like what Louis did, funny enough, and has a funny way of coming back around and like haunting again as well. But that's the end of Killa. That's the end of Bruce. Rip out his spine, paralyze him. He's got nowhere to go. Have a little conversation. and broke his jaw, made him feel small for a moment, or at least broke his jaw so he couldn't yap quite as easily. And then yeah, with the take it to your grave. No one will ever know what Claudia went through. That was the page, or what was written on the page. Burn that, burn him, be done with it. And Talamaskin gets what they want. Louis gets what he wants. A little bit of vengeance for our dearly departed. Lestat gets T-boned by...
In your gold gilded bathtub, wondering why it didn't end on the highway. Virtually modest audience.
Whoa, as he's a vampire? The tower's still standing. So was the collapse more metaphorical? Was the collapse as he's driving away? It's the same road, but it's the same road he came back. Like I recognize that little section of street right there. But he's driving and you see the tower fall in the background. Is that just supposed to be like significant of like his own mental like wall or his emotions kind of breaking down? Curious symbolism there as the tower is still standing. Like elements of the environment are collapsing around him. Is that to suggest that the car accident, maybe he wasn't hit by somebody else, maybe he wrecked the car himself? I don't see another vehicle. Like allegedly the vehicle that would have struck him and launched him aside. Like I don't see any other traffic. I don't see another vehicle nearby from a crash.
But here's the thing. I love the music.
New song.
I loved it. It was compelling me forward, pulling me through the perennial walls of my psyche, and I thought, why not ride it to blindness? Because it seemed possible. This was the muddy bottom, and on the other side...
Oh, the trauma die.
First expression would make me worse, and then make me better. Bring on
it all out, and then heal from experiencing that hurt, perhaps.
It'll wait till you're done, till you come.
Oh my god. So yeah, new song, cool and all, but it's also interesting because this is a classic example of a scene. Like I feel like there's as an artist, singer-songwriter, Lestat is writing these songs, and you have part of the audience who on this just likes the surface level of it all, where it's like, oh, he's a vampire aesthetic, the hot hunka hubba man up there with the glitter, the body scars, and the act and the routine, and then the what seems like overtly sexual lyrics, and they don't see anything aside from the surface level of that, and they're like, oh, this is a fun, sensual, sexual performance. What a thrill! What an enticing series of set pieces. But then you have the fans that see that there's deeper meaning behind the songs, and I think that this is true to like real life as well. Is that some people will see the surface level of it all, and then once they start digging deeper into the lyrics, they realize, oh wait, there's actually some like pain and trauma behind this, and like deeper meaning and all that. I'm sure that's kind of like what he's getting from his audiences as well as he goes around and performs. And now look who's out there in the crowd.
Till the next day, like a headache.
So what's next for Louis then? Also, I don't think he killed baby Jenks. He like whacked her off to the side, like knocked her out and out of the room. But I think she's the only one that he spared. Oh yeah, still alive. Oh, what a shame. Killer's dead. Might have been a mistake leaving her alive though. Oh, Nikki too. Is he going to realize that the way to come to terms with his trauma is to acknowledge it and to bring it, like to talk about it, bring it to words and actually process it? And then perhaps he's realizing now that instead of shying away and leaning into the hedonistic lifestyle, the drugs and alcohol and the performances and all that, and trying to block it out, perhaps now, as he did on stage the other night when he realized that like they all actually sounded really good and all became something better together and truer and more pure, perhaps like what he was alluding to before in his little bit before he took the stage is that, perhaps if I like the music is what is helping me to heal, and if I can get my trauma pen to paper and then put it on the stage and perform it as well, and to like perform my trauma and acknowledge it in that sense, that will allow me to feel the pain. Don't just identify the emotions, but feel them, process them, then find a way forward and through. Maybe he's realizing that music is what's going to help him kind of get through all of that, hopefully. Oh, Talamasca.
Safe. Safe.
Oh. Oh, no, it's his Lemuel.
Yeah.
But are you getting what you want back home with Lemuel? Funny how he sings about loneliness, and we cut to Daniel right there, as he's also kind of trying to come to terms with all of this, right? But I like the song too. I liked all the songs to an extent. Oh. Interesting. Are we actually on our healing journey right now, where we're kind of getting him to like leave his mind? Like he's there at the show, kind of in like still haunting him, but he's in performing and acknowledging the trauma and understanding what he's been through, but trying to move on now. He's like, no, I'm making you literally leave the venue and leave my mind now. I get it. What I went through is terrible and tough. I acknowledge it. Now I move forward. But then even she leaves. Brick and bacon. It's a very dark diner. Yeah, this is kind of an uplifting song. Taking a bit of a turn here.
Hi. You okay?
Oh. The spitting image of Lemmy. Yeah, really all the spitting of Lemmy. No, it's, yeah, the very diner that he went to where he said, I saw a gal that looked just like Claudia, and it wasn't her, but it looked just like her. But of course, for the sake of like, that's not what she actually looks like. But for the sake of not only this scene, but for the sake of like, that gets me a little bit misty-eyed. But he goes back to that diner because in his mind, she's like close enough, like looks very oddly, eerily similar to Claudia. And of course we have Delaney right back there in the role. But yeah, I got your vengeance, and I go to visit you perhaps for the last time, maybe at this diner, but just to see your face one more time. Transcendent. Dude. Also, love the blood splatter guitar. Love the aesthetic there. But also, oh my god. Can you imagine what being at one of these shows would feel like? Just in this little kind of like, it's like going to the basement east in Nashville, like over in East Nashville or something like that. And then just like checking out a show that's like the genuine, like raw emotion and performance, and get caught up in all of it. This would be a hell of a show to be able to attend. Bro literally levitated while he's
Killing it. Every night. And I'm following them.
Going to his meetings.
They're blowing up. You're gonna hear about them soon, if you haven't already.
So he did leave the band then.
In Monroe, Ohio, of all places.
He's literally stayed behind in Ohio. What?
I just want to drink. I feel sorry for myself.
Even the old lady was like, yeah, Ohio kind of sucks.
So, come on, guys.
I will.
Is it Armand? It's Armand, isn't it? Oh boy.
Hello?
I recognize that voice anywhere. The gremlin himself.
My name is Arun.
Arun, huh? Oh shit.
Hello, Arun.
They're naming ourselves, huh? Oh no. And now it's like, yeah, what was the question they asked in After Dark last episode? Where's Armand? Where's Armand been right now? Bro's just chilling in Ohio, just a roadie following along the music as it goes along. What's funny is, what did Lestat warn him about? He said, you can go to your little groups and talk about it, but you're going to put your life and your brother's life and the band's life in danger. And now here we are. Alex at the AA meeting as Armand, or as he's going by right now, Arun. Although he should know, right? Because if Daniel wrote about Armand in his book, Interview with the Vampire, and all the band read the book, like Salamander would clock him immediately, right? Salamander's heavy on the lore. Like he knows ball. But like is Alex aware enough right now to realize that this is the vampire Armand?
I am an addict.
In a way you are. Oh no. Oh no, that's how we end the episode. Oh no. What a way to end it. Armand's back in town, and I am an addict for love and for appreciation and for companionship. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I don't want the preview. Oh, and it keeps going to see Claudia. So when they said she's returning, we all assumed it was flashbacks, but it's more or less like this other gal that he's just seen as Claudia. Well, I don't want a preview of things to come. I would like to just go right to the behind the scenes.
The
Boy,
stuttering
oh boy.
wolf killer.
That was a good
the
episode
vampire
again.
Lestat.
Good stuff. I'm a little bit worried that it's all. I mean, like I said, I was hoping we get more of Nikki. Like I was hoping we get more of Lestat as a child and as a young man. And we got some scenes in one episode. I was hoping we get more of Nikki and more of Magnus. And we got like a few more scenes of Nikki. And then we had like one version of events of what Lestat painted as the pretty picture of Magnus. And then the harsh, essay reality of what Magnus actually is. And then the accompanying visions and hauntings and him eventually leaving his mind. But I'm kind of low-key hoping we get more of all that, just like a little bit. Like it works for what we need right now, and we're only 3 episodes in, but you know what I'm saying.
It's a really wild interview scene. I mean, there's like 300 things happening at one time.
You perform a song every night by your abuser, Magnus, biggest fan.
Abuser.
And that's the other part that I think that I am just now clocking as well, that maybe I keep on, maybe I'm like misrepresenting it, or I've been like not spelling it out properly, but the fact that when he said you got your song, it's a song he ends up performing. So I thought all these songs were written by Lestat, but what he's trying to say is that Magnus, well, yeah, because Magnus literally wrote that. I assume that he fell in love with Lestat and wrote that song for him, like my little wolf killer. I'm a dog, you're my wolf killer, and this twisted like romance of like I want you to want it, I want you to love me, and forcing it upon him, and all and this, that, and so forth. I think we have to get more of that, but it's to the point where like literally like Lestat was performing that very song, which is why I then am realizing now he said you got your song. Like, I'm even performing that as like a way of him, I guess, going toe to toe with his trauma by just confronting it head on and singing that very song. I know you're stubborn, but you see now. I didn't realize what all the lyrics meant on the surface when I was first listening to this, and then everybody in the comments online on Patreon and everywhere else was like, "Oh my God, these songwriters are like ripping our hearts out. These are twisted creatures over here writing these songs for the characters and all this." And now I get it. This is the song that he truly wrote as like a love ballad for Lestat. Like listening to the lyrics, I know you're stubborn, but you have to ask for it. Like it's not just the turning, it's all parts of it. It's the physical and the emotional and the turning of it. Like it's pretty twisted.
He's like, I'm gonna write you my, sweet little Taylor Swift pop ballad song, make a fool out of my maker.
Of course, the truth within that episode asserts itself.
He was thinking of it in such a way and thinking of it differently in order to cope with, instead of processing the trauma fully, to cope with it and to be able to survive it. The mind will kind of manufacture a different recollection and memory just to help with like your pure mental and emotional survival.
Transformation that he inflicts upon Lestat is incredibly violent.
Yeah. All vampires born of trauma, right?
Make it as brutal as we possibly could, so that it had a real contrast to his kind of gilded music video version that he wanted to show that it was an actual assault.
Yeah.
And that is something that Lestat like completely carries through his life, as his transformation was full-on kidnapping assault.
What happened at 29?
Nicolas de l'Enfant.
de l'enfant.
My first love.
Don't bring him into eternity.
Which she wasn't wrong, but
She is being honest, and I think she's absolutely right. She knows that Lestat doesn't really want to spend eternity with Nikki.
Does Nicola know about us?
us. Oh Lord.
I was really interested to see how they were going to revisit the theater.
It is crazy how Armand really, yeah, because in Interview with the Vampire was like a much more emotional and very much more of the infatuation in the way that he was telling the story, like even like dressed differently and like how they were together and like all over each other and sharing this intimate moment. And then the way that Lestat tells it is like, no, he was this pitiful creature that I barely even gave the time of day to.
There's also the dynamic of Gabriella.
Oh, she doesn't like Armand. Do you think you're the only one in the company he drinks from?
Do you think I am the only one with this deal? In every situation, Louis and Lestat, Armand, Gabriella and Lestat, Armand, and Armand.
Which to an extent I do pity him for, but like at the same time, how are you going to keep falling for people that are already kind of like seeing like on again, off again, or like seeing somebody else, you know, like
withstand what it takes to live this life. He was already unstable before he became a vampire, and Armand has seen vampires.
That's my question though. Like, what do you mean? Like, when you say he knew he was already unstable before all this, like, so we're trying to, the picture that's trying to be painted right now, even by the actors themselves, is that Nicky was like, he seemed like a good fella. He seemed like decent enough. He was a talented musician. He was, you know, fond, like him and Lestat were in love and all that. But like, I never got the vibes that he was unstable. That's the thing. I mean, I felt like his stability, he was shaken to his core after Lestat disappeared for a month and returned with all this, like, you're a creature now, you're different. Who are these other people, etc., etc. He gets kidnapped and drained. I mean, that I think would make him unstable because like his world view is like crumbling around him and is falling apart, and he's having to grapple with all this, you know, all these new events that have come up and all these unfortunate traumas that are transpiring. But I when you say he was like already unstable, I hope he means to say that Nicky was unstable at that point once Lestat returns, because I didn't get any vibes of him being unstable prior to that. I didn't.
But I watched as Armand pushed him into the fire and made sure he stayed there.
Intense scenes though. Yeah. Lord.
But he is talking truth to Malloy when he gives him his telepathic story about what happened there. It's more of a shared experience between the
Yeah, an intimate moment.
To some degree, Lestat is bullying Daniel, and I don't respond well to bullying.
Yeah.
And I will push back hard.
I was about to say, I feel like, yeah, Daniel's going to go like even harder in the paint on him now going forward. Like now that he realizes, okay, well, that's what Daniel always does. And it's what he does best, right? In an interview. We saw it in an interview with the vampire. He was interviewing Louis, and that was, you know, it was a little bit tough, but he kept pushing and doing what he did best. And eventually he's able to kind of get him to crack. And then you had the big, like, then Armand came in. Then there's two of them, but of course there was always two of them. But then with Armand and Louis, you know, 2v1, they destabilized Daniel for a bit. He was kind of asking, and then what happened, and then kind of faltering. And then thanks to his own odyssey of recollection and kind of getting his bearings and getting back on his feet, then Daniel was able to then get back into the rhythm of things, and with the help of Telemasca, crack the case once more and come out, well, more or less victorious on top, helping Louis to unlock the truth of the situation, right? So now, but that's what he does best, is that Daniel, even when he's on, like when he's like an underdog, right? Even when he's put down, or he like loses a little bit, or like loses a little bit of footing, right? Daniel pivots, he shifts his focus, he strategizes, and then he's able to push back, and he's able to like gain his footing once more. Bright young reporter with a point of view, he's a damn good journalist. And so that's what he's probably going to do now, is he didn't realize that, like, you know, he thought like, oh, this is going to be a tough interview, but I struck gold. I'm finally winning this game of chess, not realizing that Lestat was playing interdimensional, 4-dimensional chess over here. And he's like, okay, well now I know, you know, not my enemy, but now I know what I'm really working with here. How am I going to kind of recalibrate to be able to find a new path forward from this point?
We would like you to take care of our problem
Thank
in
you, too.
Detroit, Mr. Dulac. The Coven leader's name is
And so he did.
Tia. Spent a few nights with him once.
Getting revenge on the guy who
And it works.
hurt Claudia, and Louis has a big hole in his heart.
But Bruce did ask, or Killa, or Bruce, or whatever you want to call him, the motherfucker, asks a valid question, one that I asked as well, which is that how come did Louis just never know where to look in the past? Surely he could have figured something out with his resources and power and all that. But it is interesting to me how Louis never sought out Bruce until he showed back up on his radar, right? Like, it's just kind of...
He feels like doing this will fill it.
Make it a brief call to share an important message with you.
But the producer right there saying why he did it, because he has a hole in his heart, I think due to... Maybe he had moved on previously, but due to recent events, like such as the book coming out, him and Lestat like not being in a good spot right now, and him feeling that hole from like Lestat and the guilt over what he said and what he helped to contribute to the book with Daniel in the interview. Perhaps that's what it is, that maybe he had moved on, let bygones be bygones, didn't want to mess with it. But now that he is feeling this hole and he's feeling vulnerable and he's feeling guilty and these emotions, he thinks that, well, carrying out this act of vengeance, like the producer, one of the other producers just said, or the writer, I forget which one. Who is he again?
At the end of episode 2, Raglan James tempts Louis with this getting revenge on the guy who hurt Claudia, and Louis has a big hole.
Oh, no name. Did I miss it already? But anyway, so yeah, that does make sense. Now that asking you shall receive the question immediately, as I'm want to do, but it makes sense that he's only doing it now because he's trying to fill that hole that's like growing once more inside of him.
Heart, and he feels like
Get to Bruce. He's doing his job. What? I'm looking for killer. Self back a lot.
He's a killer himself.
From having that kind of killer instinct. So then when it comes out,
yeah. He's good.
Found creepiest about that set was
it's just like Raglan said, which is that you are quite proficient at dispatching your enemies.
And they were like, it's warm. I was like, okay, so it's like a bath. It's still horrible.
I thought he was gonna say it's cold.
He wanted Bruce to understand on some level a degree of the pain.
Yeah, and even that little bit there, that was some pretty intense stuff. Pain, suffering, probably made himself feel small, at least a little bit in the end there, but nothing nearly as bad as what Claudia felt. But, I mean, can you ever really truly get to there? There's that argument about, like, making the crime fit the punishment. And you watch movies like I Saw the Devil or Big Bad Wolves, or there's plenty of movies where it's like, can you ever really truly... Like, I mean, if you're trying to make the crime fit the punishment and you like find the rapist, or you find the serial murderer, or you find the fiend, in any case, like the truly monstrous individual, is there really any like justice? Like, can you really make them feel? I mean, sometimes you could, but then I guess that's the wrong question. In doing so, do you not run the risk of then becoming that same monster and perpetuating the cycle? I'm not trying to be one of those guys. It's like, I'm just saying, consider the cost of vengeance, right? Like, I mean, I know that we have like the death penalty, and we have like, like whether it's lethal injection or the electric chair, anything like that. Or I know that it's always easy to get behind a good old fashioned revenge story. Find the person who wronged you, hurt them, and then end their life. But that's the thing, is that especially in a movie like I Saw the Devil, a fantastic movie if you haven't seen it, by the way, but extremely, extremely dark subject matter. But if you do get your revenge, tit for tat, make the person feel those same feelings, go through the same pain. What's the cost? Because then you've also done exactly what that person did that started this journey, this whole journey to begin with. The cycle perpetuates, right? It's a deeper line of thought to get into, and like, is it worth it? Maybe it is. Maybe you do that and then you're able to walk away and then live the rest of your life knowing that maybe you did the right thing. But a lot of times it's like, a lot of media such as this, it's like, I mean, in this case, I think it's justified. I support it. I'm here for it. I think that Bruce deserved that and much, much worse. And Louis already a vampire and a killer, like a predator by nature, just by his he is a creature of the night now. I own the night, etc., etc. In his first rodeo. But outside of being a vampire, right, when it's like human on human, then it's definitely a question worth pondering, is like, you know, the cost of vengeance, and that's often loss of self in stories like this.
You and I have a friend in common.
Sort of felt like that's not really his place,
Yeah.
but I think Louis thinks that he's speaking on her behalf.
Yeah. It very much is like that conquest confession to Invincible in those final moments where then like him saying what he said kind of, oh, well, not super similar, but it makes me think of it. But the whole just like take it to your grave and all that. The only reason why I'm telling you now is because I fully believe I'm going to kill you in this moment.
It's just important that before he dies, he can hear it for himself, the hell that he created.
Yeah, done.
Done.
Yeah. Show it again. Run it back.
I think one of the most poignant moments of this season
is seeing Claudia in the diner.
The pain.
Hi. You okay? Or can I get you anything else?
I'm good, thank you, Regina.
Oh boy, he meant because I remember Jacob Anderson mentioned in the previous the end of episode 2 and after the episode thoughts where he said he's like, yeah, this is the one thing that could like drag him back into that darkness, and now he's having to like face that again. But yeah, even after him doing what he did, he's like, yeah, there is no, like I was talking about before, cost of vengeance, and you carry it out, you got your revenge. Yeah, it's like even almost like the end of The Revenant, right? Tom Hardy's character when he's like, all right, well, it's like you came all this way for your revenge, huh? Well, you can go ahead and kill me. I ain't gonna bring back your boy. Like, you know, maybe it'll make you feel a little bit better, but that hole's still gonna be there, isn't it? But boy, oh boy. Well, that was a rough one for sure. For sure. And I've been yapping for almost, okay, I hope that I can cut a lot of this down because that's almost 3 hours. That's fucking ridiculous. But I felt like I actually had some genuine commentary and hope that I didn't interrupt it too much. I actually had some genuine thoughts, but that was 3 hours? Jesus Christ. I feel like almost apologizing. I gotta make some cuts there. Again, I do apologize. It almost seems very like tragic and poetically fitting that part of my like face cam got redacted in the process of filming this. I just didn't realize, like, I knew it was so hot in here and I already had my fan on the camera, but I didn't realize that I would need to turn my fan up to make sure it didn't overheat. So I've got a very bad feeling that the camera probably, like the face cam, like burned out before the episode even started. Like I'm sure it happened during the comments, but at least I caught it before the end of the actual episode, so I'm glad that happened. But unfortunate. But the silver lining to that is that better for it to happen in season 3 than, I'm sorry, in episode 3 than the finale, or like there's always the notorious episode 5s, right? So apologies again for the face cam being lost in that episode, my greatest apology, but the audio is still there, thank fucking God. So enjoy that, and I'm sure for the After Dark bit that we won't have lost any of that. So yes, Armand is back and is like looking at and talking directly with Alex at this point in his AA meetings, gonna do what he can, get closer to Lestat on the tour, I assume, or at the very least him and Daniel are gonna have a conversation. I'm worried that Daniel is going to maybe try to team up with Lestat, with Armand to try to get at Lestat for this story. What I'm even more worried about is the fact that Lestat refers to Daniel in the past tense when he said, oh yeah, like his life was, and I'm like his life as a vampire was shallow and short-lived, and I'm like, so I'm worried over here. And then even Baby Jenks, kind of a prophetic vision, was like, oh, and he dies bad. I'm like, I don't want my boy to die, but I'm really worried that Daniel's gonna bite the big bazooka, as it were. I keep saying as it were a lot, don't I? Anyway, I've yapped more than enough. I'm sure even with the edits and the cuts that I'll make in this, we're damn near close to 3 hours. I keep trying to like, I mean, it's a long episode already, but I guess I was just so much yapping, so apologies there.